Okay, we all set.
Peace, 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 Dr. Brandon Lamar Bass. It's been a while, and yeah, I definitely do wish the very best to you and all of our viewers out there that y'all have been putting in the work and that y'all are definitely living your best life yet, as the great Dr. Mumbi herself always plainly puts it, and as Enoch the Freestyle Prince himself would say, uh, yeah, stay safe, focused, and balanced, and may things definitely be going your way.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I hope everyone is good. Hope everyone is awakening, and you already know the vibes.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We're in that season where honestly there's really not much to say except to literally put our feet down, yeah, tighten up our belts and definitely walk that walk because we've been talking the talk for the longest a while and it's time to literally put those words into serious action, you know what I mean? Because yeah, bro, we're in major spiritual time now as the great Dr. Mumbi herself would say, and it's definitely the season for us to literally just put our thoughts out there, but be very mindful of your thoughts because you know the mind in conjunction with the body could literally be your biggest enemy. Of course, you could watch the 2005 Jason Statham, Andre 3000, Ray Liotta movie Revolver for a very good pictorial visual example of just how your own mind could sabotage you. But suffice it to say, yeah, we're in the season now where we should definitely continually be healing ourselves and be ready to carefully observe our thoughts and the environment around us, our own inner state, our own inner being. Make sure that, yeah, according to Eckhart Tolle's book, Practicing the Power of Now, you have the right to literally be in your highest mind state, in pure peace, calm, serenity, tranquility, all that good stuff. Like, we've been programmed by a fucked up society, by a fucked up group of people who are, of course, messed up by said society and whatnot. And you need not look further than the Keanu Reeves, Lawrence Fishburne movies, The Matrix, to literally see what it is I'm talking about. But yeah, definitely we're in the season to manifest that which we desire and to be sure that we're in our highest state of mind because yeah, these physical bodies, which we will get into, it's a fucking drag to literally have to come back into this world and have to deal with this shit over and over and over. Like, what is this? Like, it's like we're in a freaking swamp, and no matter how much we try to get out of the damn quicksand or whatever, it's like it just doesn't want to let us go. You know what I mean, King?
Oh yeah, I definitely feel that. With definitely with the physical bodies, it's just kind of like every day when you wake up, it's kind of like, oh, back down in this joint. Like time to keep doing what we have to do, I guess, because it's like it's like every
Jeez,
day
man.
is like
Jeez, man. Jeez.
yeah,
It's a drag. It's a drag.
but yeah, it's definitely like for like the walk instead of talk the talk, like a lot of people, especially in like the spiritual community, like the new wave of the spiritual community, like they just be like a lot of people just be t walk, talking the talk, but actually not walking the walk. So it's like you gotta use discernment to see who people truly are. And then for thoughts, it's kind of like a lot of people will be sending you like negative thoughts, and you can tell like you're like certain energies is not yours, so you just have to like cleanse your energy, claim your power, and realign and rebalance. And then you also have to have your mind and your heart in alignment as well.
Definitely, Brenda. I mean, what more could I add to that? Yeah, explanation right there. Like I'm telling you, you literally hit the nail on the head, bro. You literally hit the nail on the head right there. Because how much more, how much longer must we continue to endure this nonsense? You know what I mean? I mean, imagine you are on level 9 or level 10 of whatever realm or plane of existence that you're in. You're literally just, yeah, living the life, and then for whatever reason, regardless of whatever the reasons may be, you find yourself having fallen so low here on level 3, like the third dimensional dense physical realm. Like, it's literally nothing short of a nightmare come true, my brother. We've spoken about it, we've already discussed this before, but I mean, people need to be aware. I mean, at this point, specifically when we be doing these lives, people need to be aware of, regardless of whatever so-called race or creed or group they are, or whatever nonsensical label that you want to accept others to give you, which is definitely part of the reason why many of us are so fucked up in the mind to begin with. But yeah, we have to realize that we've reached a point where we have to start to see through the veil, which is why Aset in ancient Kemet, whenever the initiates would be initiated into the mystery systems, they would literally have to be taught about the gods and who the gods are in terms of their attributes, their strengths, their capabilities, etc., etc. But it's when the initiate becomes seasoned within the spiritual practices of the mystery system, as they go further, they become far more in tune with who it is that they truly are. That's when the higher masters and teachers and the priests come along and say, yo, you do realize that all these gods are literally alchemical energies and formulas that dwell within you, right? And especially for people who were like so malignantly taught within this society to worship some bullshit entity outside of you who doesn't give a shit about you, who doesn't even see you as a child. You've seen how parents love their children and would go through any lengths to protect their children, no matter how fucked up that child is. Like that child could deserve getting their heads chopped off based off how fucked up they are, and the parents, because they just have that love for that child, no matter how messed up that child is, they just want to protect that child. You know what I mean? But these gods, especially the god of Christianity, Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, whatever you want to call that asshole, Zeus in Greek mythology, Marduk in Babylonian mythology. Yeah, you got to make the parallels. So get J.F. Bierlein's book, Parallel Myths, so that you could definitely make the distinction between every god, every mythology, every spiritual system, etc., etc. Mythology is nothing more than the story of you, how you fell into the mud, and how you, being the gold, should work your way back up. But going back to the mystery system, the fact that as you progress and you move further within the mystery system, the priests and high teachers make it clear that all these gods are simply alchemical formulas and energies and, yeah, forces that dwell within you. I mean, you need not look further than John Carpenter's two movies, which are a part of what he calls his Apocalypse trilogy. Although you could watch the first movie of that so-called trilogy, 1982's The Thing, a classic movie, by the way, 1987's Prince of Darkness, and concluding with 1994 Five's In the Mouth of Madness. So, especially the last one, In the Mouth of Madness, oh boy, that is a fucking movie to be watching. That movie literally shows you. I remember Bobby Hemmett explaining in some of his lectures back in the day, you know, when video used to be the thing, bro. You would just pop in the cassette within the video player. Bobby mentioned about how they used to rent that particular movie, but they never actually sold it. And when you watch that movie, man, you're going to come to the realization of why they didn't bother to sell that movie. Because reality, and even according to Robert Anton Wilson's book, according to one particular writer who collaborated on that book, Sex, Drugs, and Magic, A Journey into the Occult or something like that. Well, either way, Robert Anton Wilson has a lot of books, and I recommend y'all literally check out his library because good stuff, good stuff. And this is a individual who knows what the hell he's talking about because he was part of the OTO, which was a secret society which was founded by, well, one of the founders of that group was definitely Aleister Crowley. And there's a reason why Aleister Crowley back in his day was deemed the most evil man in the world. And in one of the books which I've read, I can't remember which book in particular. I think it was a Robert Anton Wilson book. I don't swear to it, but considering I've read so much books at this point, you know what I mean, bro? But to show you there's so much information within these books and whatnot, and people want to literally keep their heads in a freaking genie lamp, being the Christian Bible, the King James Bible. Although, like Bobby Hemmett said, you can get into the Bible and start to decode the esoteric texts as they're presented in front of you. But if you look at it as history, oh boy, you literally messed yourself up so much, right? But we're gonna definitely get into all of that based off the videos that we're gonna be sharing with y'all. So, like, when you go deep into the mystery system, Osset herself says, "No man has seen through my veil." Obviously, because the feminine energy was so revered and so loved and so even feared back in the ancient times. Because you would notice, especially in Hindu mythology, specifically, you would see pictures of Kali with her sickles and weapons dripped in blood, and her consort Shiva would be right beneath her. Uh, Basically, this is a very powerful picture. As you know, the saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. But one good explanation behind this is that the feminine energy, Kali, being a representation, nothing more than a role that the Great Mother itself takes, which is nothing more but high level universal feminine energy. The feminine energy is so powerful that yeah, the individual needs to first have an idea of what he or she is getting into in order to really master and alchemically use those energies, work those energies and transform them into whatever it is that the high level student or teacher decides to use it for based off of their own desires. Because just like the 1996 movie The Craft, what the main you could say spiritual guide within that movie for the main actresses, specifically Robin Tooney's character, the universe itself does not recognize good or evil. It is the individual who is within the physical experience of this world. He or she may decide to use the energies based off of whatever. Case in point, pastors in churches, preachers. You know what I mean, Dr. Bass? I mean, some of them, especially those who are literally part of these secret societies, because like what the great Bobby Hemmett already taught us, if you are in these religions, I'm not fucking telling you to get out of these religions. We're not here to continually shit on people to tell them, yo, this is what you got to do. You got to get into spirituality. No, 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 no. We're not these pimp pastors or preachers or teachers or anything like that. You know what I mean? Do whatever the fuck you want with your life. It's your life. It's your experience. Who the hell am I? How dare I tell you what it is that you got to do within your own experience? You know what I mean, Dr. Bass? Suffice it to say, if at the very least your pimp pastors and preachers were men, because you know Christianity, just like Islam and Judaism, it has a hatred toward women that, yeah, based off of everything I just told y'all, and y'all could do your research yourselves about, there's a reason why they continue to suppress women who are a physical manifestation of the feminine energy in physical bodies. There's a reason why they continue to do that, because they know it is within the feminine. Once you tap into those feminine energies, those higher divine feminine universal forces, that's when you really start to tap into power. That's when you really start to see why these motherfuckers only want to tap into the masculine energy, and yeah, they want to come with this patriarchy bullshit, which really in and of itself, I mean, thank goodness that this system is finally collapsing. I mean, we are living in so-called revelation times, which, if you're literally being technical, the Bible in and of itself literally just is a plagiarized consortium of various ancient scriptures from throughout the entire ancient world. Whether you're talking about Kemet, oh, Kemet is big uh a big proponent of many of the Bible's teachings and whatnot. But you also got Babylon, you got ancient Babylon, you got ancient so-called Sumer, you got Mesopotamia, you've got ancient India, which was part of Africa long before the British decided to go into those territories and fuck shit up. I mean, you know, so-called crackers, they're just they're just like fucking Stanley SquarePants, SpongeBob's cousin. Whatever he touches, he destroys. That's definitely these fucking crackers right here, brother. Whatever they touch, they fucking destroy. And whatever they touch, if they don't destroy it, they fucking steal it from us. So how could us niggas, how could us melanated people possibly ever think to do something within this world if the motherfuckers that we currently share this world with are nothing but a bunch of fucking thieves and fucking bandits who be going around and literally pillaging, stealing, raping our women, killing our children, eating the children. They be eating and killing their own children. So yeah, what of our own children, you know? And they be stealing our artifacts. Still to this very day, these motherfuckers' museums have yet to get burned the fuck down, or at the very least, they're supposed to return our ancient artifacts and whatnot. But without going too deep into that, the feminine energy is a great, powerful, amazing energy. You need not look further than Monica Shaw and Barbara Moore's book, The Great Mother. I think that's the name of the title of the book, The Great Mother. And you could read all of Barbara G. Walker's books, but specifically, you could read her book. One book you definitely should have from her in your library is The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Brandon, Dr. Barbara G. Walker, she literally goes deep into ancient feminine secrets that these churches, the schools, let me forget the churches. We already know that they're nothing but a bunch of spiritual bandits that literally only want to be receiving the people's currency, hard worked currency, to literally be paying off their Lamborghinis and Ferraris and be just sucking the energy out of these people like fucking vampires. You know what I mean? The schools. Why are people sending their children to these fucking schools? Melanated people. It pisses me off, right? When you had great teachers like the great Malcolm X himself, who literally said, it is a foolish thing to send your children to be educated by the enemy, by the very people who continually make you look like crap on the mainstream media, no matter what. And go into OJ Simpson because I do wish all the best to OJ Simpson. He's definitely an ancestor right now. He's moved on from this world. I don't care what it is that he did do, what it is that he didn't do. One thing that the mainstream media will always continue to do, as long as these crackers, these beasts, continue to run this bullshit system, which definitely has to fall sooner than later, is that they will continually, always, forever fuck up the image of us melanated people. It doesn't matter what OJ Simpson did. It doesn't matter what he didn't do, bro. They will continue. Condolences to the family of his wife, as well as the gentleman who was murked as well, right? But here's the fucking thing. We weren't there. We don't know if OJ actually killed those people or not. And even if he did, they were always gonna fucking shit on his image any goddamn way. So yeah, I definitely do wish peace for these people within the other life, because one thing is for certain, whether you're a high vibrational or a low vibrational being, I ain't seeing no motherfuckers literally coming back in the physical body that they last occupied to come back down in this bitch. Heck, Patrick Swayze didn't even fucking do that in his 1990 movie Ghost. All he did was try to protect his lover, Demi Moore's character, long enough to protect her from the individuals that he had to keep her safe from. So when it was all said and done, he finally, at the end of the movie, he moved on to the other life. And as he died, keep in mind when you go back and watch that movie, as he died, the ancestors were literally calling to him and said, yo, Sam, now you've already had a realization that you're no longer in the physical realm, so it's time for you to move on. But nah, the movie's plot had to kick off because he died and he had to go on his mission to protect her. Suffice it to say, even when you watch 1997's movie Spirit Lost, when you reach toward the end of the movie where you have these Yoruba sisters who are literally trying to free the main actress's husband. Her character's husband was literally being seduced by the ghost of a woman, a slave woman, who never moved on to the other world, who never moved on to the other life. She was still stuck within this physical realm, but of course she's in full spirit form right now, but she didn't know she died. That's the fucked up thing about having experienced this physical body, bro. Sometimes the trauma can be so much that an individual doesn't even know that they died. They think that they're still part of the physical realm, but they're not. So, which literally has me questioning. So, if you think that you're still alive, how is it that you're able to do shit like Casper the Friendly Ghost and those like ghost like characters and whatnot? But either way, those are details you probably should get into whenever you're meditating and you're definitely like going deep into the astral realm, and you're just like going deep within yourself to really find out what these spiritual esoteric practices are all about. Suffice it to say, I've already run my fucking mouth for so long now already, my brother. It's just that when the spirit has stuff to share, I gotta fucking share it. But essentially, the feminine energy, she's coming back. Sophia is making herself known. Kali is ready to fucking end this cycle because it's been a bullshit cycle. The fact that there are many ancient scriptures detailing all the shit that would be going on right now. It already detailed that stuff to show you our ancestors saw this shit thousands of years before we fell, because it was a hard fucking fall, my brother. And the fact that we've made it through these very challenging times, and yeah, the cracker is literally ready to start eating his tail, just like the Ouroboros serpent symbolism, oh, where the serpent is eating itself. The cracker is literally starting to fucking, yeah, with these secret society wars and whatnot, and you got Diddy and his nasty ass, but we'll probably get into that as well. Yeah, Brandon, I've run my mouth for too damn long right now. So yeah, just let the people know, break it down, everything that they should know based off of yeah, what the spirit just shared right there, my brother. Woo! Good stuff.
Oh yeah, that was some good stuff right there, man.
Woo,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely got KO'd like so hard, but like we finally made it. We finally made it through, and then this is definitely like they definitely saw this time was coming because all the scriptures and all the things that they were seeing, and even what they wrote in the temples, all was leading up to this point. So we definitely gonna be ending the cycle. It's kind of like coming to a full circle, and we finally breaking away from this old cycle and finally moving on to this new era that everyone's talking about, like a new era and this and new era, but we're finally like getting to that point as well. And then if we're not even there, we just need to start questioning everything. So if people say, oh yeah, this happened or this happened, but if you wasn't there to experience it, you should be able to question everything. And then whatever they touch turns into like mud and they end up destroying it. But whatever we touch, we turn into gold because we have melanin and they don't have melanin. So that's why they always trying to steal our
Remember
melanin.
the mythology, bro? Remember the mythology of King Midas? Everything he touched turned into gold. That's literally an alchemical story right there. That is literally a high spiritual advanced student or teacher's story breaking down the use and mastery of alchemy itself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like because like they finally realized like okay, this is definitely a feminine realm, just like the 3D, the 5D, and since we're moving to the 5D with the split and everything like that, they can really see like, oh yeah, this is definitely a feminine realm. But just like the evil and good part is like one thing for someone could be good, and then the other person could be like, oh, that's bad as well. So it's really all about like your mindset in your own personal opinion, just like how we was talking about like with the blueberries, like one thing, like even though
Yeah, big
blue
shout out to you on that one, bro. Definitely break it down to them, brother. Break it down for
oh
them.
yeah, so like for like blueberries, even though like blueberries is healthy and everything like that, but you got some people who like them, some people who love them, some people who hate them, some people just dislike them, and then some people who just are entirely allergic to it. So at this point, everything is really just like a personal opinion to everyone, and everyone has their own personal taste towards everything. So it really doesn't matter what people say, what people think, what people feel, as long as you resonate with it, then you should continue doing it. And yeah, like more parents protect their kids more than these fake gods, but like at the end of the day with like parents and whatnot, a lot of parents really just don't even want to deal with their kids, so that's why they send them to schools and send them to this, send them to that. And from their perspective, they think, oh yeah, we're just letting them like experience the world and whatnot, but like deep down, they really can't stand their children and everything like that. But that's a different story. But we're definitely living in a real nightmare, and it's definitely like all within like the mind because this is just like a holographic video game and we just shouldn't be too hard on ourselves as well.
Definitely. And may I add to that, Brandon? The fact that We are multidimensional spiritual beings having a temporary human experience within this world. If you go to the thank you very much for that, Brandon. Now I have another video that I should share with y'all. Another video that I should share with y'all based off of that which we're talking about. Big shout out, Dr. Bass. But if you would remember the so-called Ten Commandments based off of the King James Bible of the Old Testament. Yeah, if when you get into the Old Testament, I mean, it's so amazing, right? Some of these Christian denominations literally just want to ignore the Old Testament as if it never happened. I mean, historically, it never fucking happened because it's nothing but a bunch of allegories and metaphors and symbols in which the high level student, once you get into the esoteric occult side of things, you could literally start to see the formulas for what they are, and that you could literally alchemically transform those formulas and energies into forces that literally work in your favor. Essentially, you tap into your true spiritual forces within and you manifest it into whatever it is that you desire. Just like Sutter Kane in the movie In the Mouth of Madness. I'm telling you, reality is a clay. And just like Harry Potter is what? A wizard? And the wizard is able to what? Bend and shape reality into whatever it is that they see fit. I'm telling you, they be putting the truth out there in these movies and TV shows and cartoons, my brother. I'm telling you, it's the conscious mind that has to start to awaken to these subliminal messages and literally start to decode it and decipher it all for what it truly is. But getting back into the Ten Commandments and whatnot. There, it's all just plagiarized from the 42 negative confessions of Ani within the coffin text or within the Egyptian book of Coming Forth by Day, which erroneously they call the Book of the Dead. But either way, think about it, Brandon. If you were actually to put in the effort to not do any of these things that these uh, systems tell us, do not go into your neighbor's wife, do not steal, do not kill, do not do this, do not do that. And actually, there are motherfuckers that when you really when it really comes down to it, we should actually definitely put an end to their physical existence because all they're doing is causing nothing but pain, suffering, and destruction in a world that definitely has to experience more equilibrium, a balance. You know what I mean? But these motherfuckers are too goddamn on one extreme. So that's the shit where we, the Amon race, big shout out to Nuban Menkares, that's where we, the Amon race, have to come in order to fucking bring that balance back into this world that is completely out of balance. That's what we should be fucking doing, which is why the melanated man and woman, so long they are not on the throne of this world may literally be destroyed and honestly, it may be reset. But then again, the world itself has to see a fucking destruction because big shout out to Bobby Hemmett. Simply go back into ancient mythologies and even at the beginning of the Bible with the Genesis story, the creation story. This physical realm was not always physical. And if you go into the Persian and Babylonian end time stories, you will know that this physical realm, as you see it, heaven and earth, is going to pass away. And that's what these crackers are trying to fucking stop. But to begin with, they're not even fucking cosmic or universal beings. So how could these ants, how could these microbes possibly think that they're going to stop, let alone slow? How do they think they're going to slow down, let alone stop something that they're only now beginning to comprehend what it is that they're talking about? Their own fucking destruction. They can't slow it down. They can't stop it. They're just gonna have to fucking go through it. Only maybe if they raise up their vibrations, maybe then. Maybe then. But then again, these are lower vibrational beings, so who fucking knows what'll happen to them, bro? So either way, if you were really to not do any of these things, bro, you're gonna have to be stiff as a fucking statue within this physical realm, man. I mean, serious. All of these freaking things. But guess what? You shall not do this, you shall not do that. I did not do this or I did not do that. It wasn't talking about the ego. It wasn't talking about Brandon Bass. It wasn't talking about Andy Labardi. It wasn't talking about Dr. Mumbi. It wasn't talking about Brother Panic or Bobby Hemmett or Sister Yafa Bay or Dr. Jewel Pukram or Dr. Phil Valentine, etc., etc. It was talking about the soul. You, the gold, who fell in the mud, though you fell in the mud never took away your shine. You always kept your shine because that's what you truly are. Gold from the cosmos, that primordial light being who is having a temporary human experience. It never had a goddamn thing to see with your fucking lousy ass physical experience. If that were the fucking case, then the gods would have already fucking destroyed you, put an end to this physical realm, and literally started all over again. And we are going to experience the fall of this fucking, or rather, the end of the previous cycle, being the so-called age of Kali, the Kali Yuga, the age of Pisces, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because all these names and labels are really just indicators letting you know, regardless of what culture gave them a certain name, it's all talking about the same thing, which is why culture in and of itself makes no goddamn sense. It's all about getting back to that which we truly are. And what is it that we are? Primordial, great, powerful, chaos based beings who found ourselves trapped in fucked up physical bodies, now trying to get out of this shithole. And you know what, bro? That's exactly what we should be doing. And yeah, as I pass it back on to you, it never had anything to do with the ego. It never had anything to do with these damn physical bodies that we're uh, currently temporarily experiencing. It all had to do with the soul. The soul never fucking had sex. The soul never stole a piece of bread from the corner store at the end of the block. The soul never fucking committed gluttony or whatever nonsensical rules or anything like that. It was never speaking about the physical body. It's speaking about the fucking primordial light cosmic being that is having that video game illusionary mirage temporary physical experience that we are currently letting people be aware of, because verily, bro, it's about time that people start lucid dreaming, become aware of this physical realm, and yeah, take it away, King.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it's all just like a illusionary holographic realm, just like playing a video game. So it's kind of
Bam,
like,
get Michael Talbot's book. Get Michael Talbot's book from 1991, I think it was, The Holographic Universe. Plain and simple. We be sharing the books and the information that people need to take the time to do the research for themselves. We're putting the information out there, and people have to take the responsibility to make themselves more knowledgeable, my brother. It's not our job to tell people how to live their lives or what they gotta do.
oh yeah, definitely. It's like, and then it's all about the soul and not the ego or the physical body. So like we all know, like the system wants to have you like stay in the physical, stay like thinking with your physical body and everything like that, just to have you subconsciously think like, oh yeah, this is my life, this is my physical body, this is I'm actually playing the video game, but like really you're all behind the controller. So like just like anything that you do, like anything you do in this like physical realm, like so say like in the video games, right? So like GTA, you play as Franklin or something like that. You kill someone in GTA. You're not really killing someone because you actually not doing the killing because that's not your soul. So at this point, you're just playing out as a character. So whoever you are, you're just playing out that character because we all know that before we came down here, we had soul contracts and what we're gonna experience and all that other
There
stuff.
you go.
So like whatever you really experience in this lifetime is not a coincidence. Everything happens for a reason. So at this point you're just behind the controller and you're not really you're just going with the flow, to be honest, because your soul and your heart is really the compass leading you down the right path. So at this point you just have to have your mind and your heart in alignment to realize, oh yeah, this is all to make you realize like, okay, yeah, this is all makes sense and I'm going down the right path. But once your mind and your heart is not in alignment, then that's when they can play tricks on you to be like, oh yeah, I say if someone like cheated on someone, oh yeah, I got cheated on and oh yeah, then that's when you start getting emotional and then that's when you start actually feeling like your physical body and everything like that. And then that's how the spiral continues. But once you rebalance and refocus and realign, then you kind of realize, oh yeah, this is actually had to happen because it's gonna teach me this lesson. And then when I learn that lesson, it makes me more experienced and it makes me more wiser. So I'll have gain even more wisdom, and then I can level up and everything like that. Because at the end of the day, all we doing is just leveling up, and we don't want to level down because that's like the true nightmare right there. And then we have to destroy the foundation till we build the new. So any empire has to crumble. So at this point, we can't build a new foundation on fake soil. So we just have to come destroy everything till we build the new. So that's why you see all the natural disasters and everything like that. But this is just the beginning. This is just the start of it all. So of course it will happen over time. So everything is not happening all at once, to be honest with you. And then, yeah, so that's why they're trying to cause so much pain and hardship. But at the end of the day, they don't really care because they know what they're doing behind closed doors.
And you know, Brandon, big shout out to you on that one there, my brother. Well said, well put together, well constructed. Just we on a roll, Dr. Bass. I'm telling you, at this point, it don't make no sense to be repeating the same shit over and over and over again. We be sharing the books, we be sharing the videos. As the great ascended master brother Panic best put it, we put out our masterful work. We put it all out there for people to witness, for people to become aware of. It's their business as to whatever they do with it. Like if we're having a discussion about the moon, like if we come to the realization that the moon itself is some kind of a weird machine or spaceship that's literally causing fucked up energy, how can I say, energy emanations and whatnot, regardless of whatever you think the moon is, like what brother Panic said, I don't give a damn if you think that motherfucker made of cheese. I don't give a damn if you think the moon is made of cheese. Honestly, there has to be a reason within your own true self as to why you think the moon is actually made of cheese. And you know, it's interesting, right, Dr. Bass? As we are about to get into our first video, I think it's like 8 of them I shared with you. So, oh, we definitely got information we sharing with the people out there. But it's amazing, right? Something Brother Panic mentioned in one of his lives, and it really got me questioning, right? We always keep hearing these stories about, oh, so-called white people are albino Indians and whatnot. And if you actually see pictures, go on Google Images and you search for albino Indians, you would definitely see an albino Indian looks so much like the so-called white man as we know them today, the so-called European, etc., etc. The average white male or white female in America. But it really has me questioning, right? That is one possibility. But you also have the possibility of these beings having come from some more advanced extraterrestrial race of beings that, much like our ancestors, do not hail from this world. So you'll hear stories about them being genetically modified in caves and this and that. And we know this to be the case because when you read books like Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop's book, yeah, ancient ancient Egypt myth or reality, something like that. I think but it's from Sheikh Anta Diop. Yeah, ancient Egyptian civilization myth or reality. I think that's the name of the book. You could do a Google search and search it for yourself. But when you read that book, as well as you read Count C.F. Volney's book, uh, yeah, Count C.F. Volney's book, I would have to do a quick Google search for me to get back into the name of that book. Just give me a few seconds. Yeah, C.F. Volney, C.F. Volney, C.F. Volney book. Let me quick Google search. The ruins of empires. There you go. There you go. You see, as simple as a Google search. People could literally, and that's another book people should get their hands on: The Ruins of Empires and the Law of Nature. C.F. Volney. who was I guess he was some kind of a ruler in a certain sect of France back in the 18th century, I think it was. But he wrote this book, and in that book, he even admitted to think the people who we currently enslave are the people who we should thank for our knowledge of science and all that good stuff in which we civilize these people. Because you would know that the Moors, that is the ancest no not the ancestors, the descendants of the northern Africans who ruled Europe's what we call Europe today. Because remember, so-called Europe, America, Africa, Asia, and all these places, it's only recently that these places received these ridiculous names and labels. Prior to that, our ancestors, in which we know that melanated people ruled the entire ancient world, we were all over. It doesn't matter if it's east, west, north, or south. We were the main people in Africa, what we call Africa today. We were the main people of what we call Asia today. We were the main people of North and South America, what we call North and South America today. We were always the main people in the Americas. Christopher Columbus, monkey ass, when he traveled, set sail with his group of bandits to the Caribbean region, who do you think he met? Brothers that literally look like you and I, my brother. I and I, as the Jamaican brethren would say. Respect. But you go to so-called Asia even, and so-called Europe even, nothing but melanated people. It had to take a series of the vibrations themselves lowering, like moving so low down. It literally gave us that knockout blow in which we fell, so that the cracker could be given the opportunity to set up his empire based off of us civilizing his bitch ass, as well as all the other people that currently exist in these other places today, like Asia and so-called Europe. We civilize these fucking people, but it goes without saying, because they themselves, let's not be stupid to think that these people are ever going to come out and admit that we're the ones who civilized them or even created them and whatnot. But going back to what Brother Panic said, bro, why are we to only believe that we genetically modified them in caves like a fucking Frankenstein or a lizard from the Spider-Man comics, a science experiment that finally went out of whack? You know what I mean? It's amazing how they like to continuously make these Frankenstein stories, or these stories of scientists committing a bunch of fuckery in their laboratories, creating some abomination that they had no business of fucking creating. But guess what? Even in uh Sheikh Anta Diop's book, as well as in Walter Scott's Hermetica, and I think the Hermetica by what's his name now? The Hermetica by, I got the book right here. Just give me a moment. I got to see the name of that book. Hermetica by what's his name now? Hermetica, Hermetica. I got it right here. But yeah, the Gnostic scriptures are definitely stuff that we should be getting into as well. Yeah, the Gnostic scriptures, Marvin Meyer, yeah, Willis Barnstone with his book, The Other Bible. Yeah, these are definitely some books to be getting into. Hermetica, Gods of Pegana by so-called Lord Dunsany. That's a good book right there. Oh, also get Hermetica by Brian P. Copenhagen. Yeah, Copenhagen. Yeah, definitely get that book, and get H.P. Lovecraft's books as well, because definitely H.P. Lovecraft was he lived around the same time as Aleister Crowley, and it's amazing how both men, when you read Peter Lavenda's book, I think it's titled Lords of Chaos or Lords of Darkness, Peter Lavenda, Peterlavenda. If I did not butcher the spelling of his surname, but suffice it to say, he gets into a short history in comparison between H.P. Lovecraft and Aleister Crowley, and how both of these men were literally two sides of the same coin. They were both definitely way ahead of their time when it comes to these esoteric teachings that you and I are speaking about right now, in which I definitely give big shout out to Bobby Hemmett, Brother Panic, Dr. Phil Valentine, Sister Yafa Bay, etc., etc., Dr. Jewel Pukram, Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Mumbi, Real Merc. I'm giving shout out to all the brethren. I can't forget young Pharaoh and General Seti with their research and whatnot as well. But it's amazing to me, right, bro? People only be saying these so-called white people and all these other people were made in caves. But who's to tell you that they were made in caves? If these militaries be literally guarding stargates, wormholes, portals that lead into other planes of existence. Who isn't to say, just like what Brother Rashad Jamal spoke about before, that these motherfuckers literally came from another world and they decided to colonize this fucking world, hence why the so called Europeans colonized the world everywhere they went in the fucking 15th century unto the 18th century. Dr. Bass, as I pass it back on to you, we're going to get into the first video, Nuben Menkare's God versus Man. I think it was the last one that I shared, but that's the one that we're going to be getting into first. But Dr. Bass, let the people know, based off of everything that the Spirit shared through this physical body, we should not only look at one side of the story, we should let our imagination think the craziest fucking thoughts and see all possibilities of how these motherfuckers got here, why they're still here, and why is it that they want to siphon this world of all of its natural fucking resources. This world, as we know, being a living, breathing being trapped in a tomb in which he's ready to get the fuck out. Pass it away, King Bass.
Oh
Take
yeah,
it away.
like we definitely just have to start using our imagination as well. Just like be like our childhood self, like our inner child, but a lot of people get it mixed up because they kind of feel like, oh, they're child like in the mind, but they're adults. But they have to really incorporate their inner child instead of being mentally like a child, you know, get what I'm saying? But it really all doesn't matter about like ways, like even if like someone just likes or loves you, it doesn't really matter about the ways it even like some like so-called black people we don't even have to connect with because they're not really our kinfolk and everything like that. So it really it doesn't even depend on like the ways per se. It's all about like whoever like really cares about you and everything like that. But
Whoever is vibrating on the same vibration, whoever is like working on themselves, continually raising their vibration. And you need not look further than the sister Josephine Baker. Remember we recently spoke about Josephine Baker, my brother, in which I'm definitely gonna get back to you on your response, bro. So stay tuned on that. But Josephine Baker, it's the sisters, which is why they want to fucking suppress the divine feminine so much, because women are such delicate, fascinating, amazing goddesses, specifically the melanated woman. She usually does not let her mind guide her, because you can't be guided by your fucking mind. The mind in and of itself is a mess. Which is why when you get into deep esoteric spiritual teachings, you would note that the heart is the compass that guides you, directs you, and leads you to where it is you gotta go. The heart is what definitely carries you to where it is that you gotta go. Just like how a mother always leads her child to where it is that that child has to walk as they're learning to walk. You know what I mean? You need not look further than the sister, the ascended sister Josephine Baker, and how she had such a caring heart, but she was also a warrior, because she stood up against so-called white racism and whatnot. Always called it out for the bullshit that it was. And all these years later, if she were like alive right now, she would definitely be disappointed in some aspects, but in other aspects, especially if she was like in tune with esoteric spiritual teachings, which she might have been, who knows? Definitely, it doesn't matter the so-called race of an individual, because if you're talking about the masses from basically every so-called fucking race, bro, humanity might as well go fucking extinct, because we already spoke about humanity. Dr. Brother Panic, he already spoke about humanity and why we should move beyond humanity, not ignore what they're doing, but get into we should definitely move beyond that which humanity is a flaw. Humanity is a flaw and something that we should definitely raise ourselves up from and literally empower ourselves so that we can definitely overcome these physical bodies and get back to that which we truly are. Bobby Hemmett himself spoke about it many times over. Sister Yafa Bey already mentioned it in one of her lectures, where once you tap into that true, you need not look further than Avatar: The Last Airbender. Get into the cartoon series, but you can even watch that absolute garbage ass live action movie that they made first, in which it explains the scene where he was in the cave and his first eye, his true spiritual power, looked back at him, so that he could literally tap into his spiritual power, so that he could get into the true depths of the Avatar powers. Like, bro, they literally be hiding the shit in these movies, in these cartoon shows, in these TV shows. And as we're gonna get into the video, Dr. Bass, just like, yeah, just let the people know it really doesn't have anything to do with these goddamn physical bodies, because it's all just a fucking experience. It's all an illusion. None of this is real. Get into Lord Dunsani's book, The Gods of Pegana. Manayud Sushai is literally asleep. And the moment he awakens from that sleep, all of the realms and all of the gods will cease to exist. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say is this is definitely the truest nightmare of all, the illusionary video game holographic universe. This is definitely goes deep.
Oh, it goes fucking deep. Dr. Delbert Blair spoke about it when he was still in the physical. It don't get lower than Earth. Brother Panic already mentioned what the ancients called this very realm that we're in, the fallen daughter. It doesn't get any more deep than that. And we're gonna get into the video, bro. I'm telling you, bro, we're on a roll. But definitely, it's all about leaving our work behind so that people can literally look back, and we ourselves we continually move forward, making sure that our hearts are as light as a feather, because that's all it really comes down to.
Yeah, definitely. Play it now.
Yeah, good stuff, bro.
Seek equality with mankind. We don't care about politics. We don't care about religion. We don't care about Islam. We don't care about Africa. We don't give a damn about Egyptology and Sumerian. We don't care about none of that. None of it. Because it can't help us in the future to become and be God again. We want to get back, or should I say, we want to get forward to being God again. We want to get forward. We want to go through that pure regeneration to become God again. And we're not going to get it through being African. We're not going to get it through being Muslims. We're not going to get it through being Israelites. We ain't damn sure ain't going to get it through being Christians. We ain't going to get it through comedic science, whatever the hell that is, or Moorish science. So to hell with anything that's not going to push us in the realm of being God again. To hell with it. We ain't damn sure ain't getting it through no 5%ism, because they still talking about Islam. They still trying to make Islam their way of life. This is what we done come to now. And a lot of our people will turn their back on it. A lot of them will turn away because, like I said, they become like man. They have become like man. They have desired the way of mankind. They don't want God. They don't want to be God. When they say, do you want God, it's really saying, do you want to be God? And the majority of our people decided they don't want to be God. They want to be man. They want to be equal with man. And they don't understand that the white man keeps telling them the only way you're going to be equal with me is beneath me. The only way you're going to be on my level or on my playing field or you're going to be on my pedestal is beneath me. Me first, the East Indians and the Asians second, 2A and 2B. The Mexicans and all them other people on top of you, the Arabs all on top of you, but the black man, you will be at the bottom. Black woman, you will be at the bottom. So as we said, either you're going to be on the bottom or you're going to be on the top. Ain't no in between. There's no equality. Y'all ain't figured that out yet. Y'all ain't see this yet. There's no equality with these people. Either you're going to be on the bottom or you're going to be on the top. And a lot of you are deciding that, oh, well, I'll just stay on the bottom and won't make waves. I'll just stay on the bottom and bury my head in the sand, and I won't make waves. No. Mm-mm. No. There's no staying on the bottom with them, with these people. Even when you on the bottom, they still got a problem with you. Whether you stay and keep your head buried in the sand as a Christian, as a Muslim or Israelite, they still got a problem with you. They still had a problem with you when you was in slavery to these people. They had a problem with you. You understand that? They're going to have a problem with you as long as you breathing. There's going to be a problem with you. Even when you have done nothing to them, there's going to still be a problem with you. Reason being is because they're trying to let you know that you have no place amongst them. You're supposed to be over them. That's why there's always going to be turmoil with the white man and all these other people, that y'all going to keep going back and forth. You're going to keep trying to ask for equality, because there is no equality with them. There is no equality. You was not brought into natural manifestation to be equal with the creation. You came here as God, and you went lower than God. You went beneath God. You went beneath man. You have fought against yourself. So when I talk about tonight's topic, God versus man, this is the black man and black woman fighting against their self. You fighting against your higher self. You fighting against your God self. You don't know if you want to be man or God. You black women don't know if you want to be woman or God or woman or goddess. Y'all want to be women. Don't tell me you want to be goddess. You don't want to be a goddess. You still want to be like the white woman. You want to be like your role model, the white woman. You still want to be like Sex in the City. That's what you want to be like. You want to have your hair permed out and flat ironed out and be like them. You still want to be in the image of the beast, not in the image of God like you're supposed to be. Your natural selves. Y'all don't want that, though. You don't want that, because that's pseudo. That's pseudo. You got a bunch of natural-born slaves who are going to be the black version, the colored version, the real black atheists, to hoard the white man's philosophy. His Uncle Toms and Sambos, who are going to hoard his philosophy and push his philosophy and read in his books and read his concepts with no precepts of their own. What you doing thinking? God thinks, man believes.
Well, then, I don't think that Nuben Menkares really needed more of an introduction than that which he already so straightforwardly pointed forward, huh, bro? Because, man, take it away. Just take it away, bro. Like, brother went in. Brother went in.
Oh yeah, well, so everything you were saying, like, it really just shows people like they will be slaves instead of being their true selves. They will choose their slave masters instead of choosing their higher self. So it's really like everything is just coming into light at this point.
Oh, definitely. And I find it to be very interesting. There's this particular show that my bloodkin sister was watching on Netflix by the name of Dynasty. I don't know if like you're familiar with that show, maybe just having seen it on like Netflix advertisements and whatnot. But there's this one particular sister on that show. Dr. Bass, every fucking time I watch this woman, I just want to fucking punch her in the face, right? With a goddamn blonde wig, with her skin. It looks like she bleached her skin. I can't swear to it, but holy shit, she literally got herself looking like a so-called white woman. I'm like, goodness gracious. And then there's another sister on the show who her son is in a relationship with. Like this sister literally got her natural hair, her like lovely melanated skin and whatnot. I have to try to sometimes. I don't see that more natural looking sister's character often, but when I do, bro, it just gives you an example. It gives you a perfect example of how a lot of our women, specifically those who are like consciously mentally dead, like like what the brother be saying in many of his other lectures and whatnot, because Newman, he's a guy, a lot of these videos and lectures that he did is literally from years ago already, but to show you how the information is unfortunately still relevant, because melanated people, the majority, it just goes to show you that even in ancient times, the majority were never going to fucking make it, bro. It was always just a select few. The majority would rather choose their goddamn slave master than to literally get back into their true, authentic self. Not even on a human level, my brother. They'd rather choose the image of a goddamn beast. A fucking creature that your ancestors, or rather the high priests of the ancestral high priests of your people created, you'd rather go, or based off what we said, wherever it is that these motherfuckers came from. One thing is for certain: we live in a melanated world. We are melanated beings. The sun is the major energy giver, like a mother gives milk to her child, and these motherfuckers can't take the sun. So, pause, time out right here. How is it that you're worshiping the image of a creature, a humanoid creature, that can't even fucking take the main energy source of this very world we are currently experiencing within the physical? I mean, we know it's all just a temporary experience, but even then, Dr. Bass, as we get into the next video with Bobby Hemmett, with Lucifer, why Lucifer died for your sins. That's right. Everything that these very same people, everything that's evil for them, they twisted it and made it appear evil to us. But that which is evil for them is exactly what we need to be tapping into. So, yeah, Dr. Bass, when I see stuff like this, our women be perming their hair and literally looking like so-called white women and whatnot, it's just sad. And as I pass it back on to you, Dr. Bass, like, it's just sad. And they be forcing our brethren, our brothers, to be like fucking women. So they got the brothers bringing out homosexual tendencies. So essentially, what these crackers are doing is trying to make our people like them. Sick in the head, twisted, and essentially irredeemable. Dr. Bass, I pass it back on to you, because it's really just vomit inducing.
Yeah, it's all like wild out here. They're really just trying to make people more like them, so they'll have more of their minions and everything like that. And at the end of the day, we see like everyone who's just following the agenda. And at this point, they're just gonna get left behind because we all know we're transcending and ascending. And if you're not on that wavelength, then you're just gonna get left behind at that point.
And honestly speaking, bro, when I be seeing stuff like millions of people, should we ever like witness it? Because something I forgot to mention, what you mentioned earlier, especially when we are talking about, yeah, all the I think you had mentioned about yeah, when we see the natural disasters and whatnot. Dr. Bass, it is amazing, right? It is so fucking amazing when you look at all these natural disasters and whatnot, and yeah, the collapsing of the beast system, bro. Like, it just goes to show you that this realm herself, like the being who literally runs this physical realm, that great divine feminine being, she's had enough. She's fucking had enough of mankind being a type of man. Like, yeah, they're human, but if you're really, because Newman himself keeps mentioning about the human being coming from an ancient Egyptian word that literally describes a created person, which, okay, we know that's the case for the cracker as well as all these other humanoids who we know literally only just got here yesterday in comparison to us when we were the OG humans. Well, technically we are the Amuns. When we be saying Amun Ra and whatnot, we are literally of the cosmos. We are from the stars, because I shared a video with you not long ago where a brother was explaining with Rich, who has the channel Black Magic 363. You're welcome to check his channel out on YouTube. But that brother was sharing some deep information about how the alien, the so-called alien, but we should use extraterrestrial because that's the proper word to use, because we're talking about beings that did not originate from this 3D material illusionary world. All I got to say is based off of the information that he shared on that video, which I shared with y'all, bro, that extraterrestrial, which was in the Roswell crash of 1947, I think it was, correct me if I'm wrong, the extraterrestrial was literally a melanated being that looks like me and you. You can't make this shit up, Brandon. I'm telling you, bro. And as I pass it back on to you, with all these natural disasters and all this stuff that's going on, this realm, the being who runs this realm, she's had enough. She's waiting on the elect to literally awaken, just like Cthulhu, just like Shub-Niggurath, just like Azathoth, and all of H.P. Lovecraft's uh, characters, all these great, powerful, godlike beings who are ready to awaken from their slumber, just like Manayut Sushai in Lord Dunsani's book, The Gods of Pegana. This physical realm is about to come to an end, and these motherfuckers are literally terrified, shitting their pants or skirts or whatever these weird pedophilic bitch ass motherfuckers be doing in behind closed doors. I don't even want to get into that, but their rule is coming to an end, and we got to be the ones to literally accelerate it and bring in the new world. Pass it, take it away, Dr. Bass.
Yeah, the last thing I'll say is like the majorities definitely ain't gonna make it, and if we can't stand this realm, then best believe nature and all these other beings can't stand it as well.
Oh, it's about time for them to go, my brother. If a million motherfuckers, if a million useless parasitic motherfuckers get eliminated, hey, it has to happen. It has to happen. It was already prophesied to happen by our ancestors anyway. So at this point, Dr. Bass, who cares? I mean, really, we're elevating to the point where these lives are clearly not for little children, for the humans. This is not for the humans. This is for the gods. This is for the Amun race. This is for the great beings who are ready to take it to the next level. If you want to be human, if you want to shout Alleluia, which is nothing more than a fucking, you could even read it in Barbara G. Walker's book, The Women's Encyclopedia of Myths and Secrets. Alleluia was originally a word that was used to calm the spirit of the dead king so that his spirit may move on to the other world, not stay in the physical world. And here, the fucked up part about it. The word Alleluia also was a battle cry that soldiers would use in battle to spiritually and mentally paralyze their opponents. So that's why these Christians keep remaining fucked up in their minds. It's because by shouting out hallelujah, praise Jesus. Oh shit, there's another fucking video I had to share with you, bro, in which a brother was explaining the meaning of y'all could literally do research. Y'all could literally do research and check it out yourselves. But the word Jesus literally comes from a fucking European joint collaboration, joint European slave union ship. Like, if your mind is not blown by that, you do the research. A slave ship named Jesus. You cannot make this stuff up. Dr. Bass, play the video.
Why did Lucifer rebel? Lucifer is Prometheus. Prometheus and his crew, in this book there's a part in here that said the whole heaven was split on the making of man. One part of the heaven went this way, the other part remained with the people who made it. Why? The story goes, and they don't tell you this. You just get Lucifer rebel. That's like the person who's against Lucifer telling the damn story. He rebelled against man. It went about out of man. What happened was this. When man was made out of the Titan's blood and the titanium dust, Prometheus was a leftover Titan, or Lucifer in the Christian mythology was a leftover chaos being, the mother and the father, or what you now call chthonic being, which is earth dweller. He said, hey, the God said, bow down to man. He said, hey, I ain't bowing down to man. I don't like the fact that you took my brothers and sisters and put them into a doggone fucked up body and made them less than what they are, advanced cosmic beings. So he was rebelling against this doggone psychopath God for making a lesser deity, a hunting and gathering subhuman or sub-deity or a chaos being that used to rule the universe. So he was rebelling against, Lucifer was rebelling against that would happen. And the other deities split, say, yeah, we don't like this shit. Then our brothers and sisters, the little bit of older deities, or what they call the Titan things that was left behind. You know how it come together when you get the Greek myths? There's a bunch of Greek mythology. Get all that shit, that's our shit. Afrocentric shit taught you against that, but they didn't do enough studying to find out that it was the Etruscans. And the white boys didn't write the Iliad and Odyssey and all them things. Hesiod's Greek myth. Mythos Company, just look on the back, you'll see Mythos. The Mythos Company put out by Princeton University. Now it's interesting that Prometheus in there is identically parallel to Jesus Christ. But Prometheus is Satan, or Lucifer. And the Jesus Christ story of being staked to a cross is the damn original Prometheus story. Jesus was staked to a cross. After Prometheus rebelled against God and stole heaven from God, which is stole the actual life from God, which is the Kundalini energy, and put it in man, he was staked to a pole in Mount Tartarus. On the mountain in Tartarus. Jesus was staked to a cross. Jesus had a spear to stab him in the side, based on the mythology. Prometheus had a doggone hawk to eat out his liver. Yeah. Same story. But Prometheus is the original Lucifer. So Satan died to save you all. He rebelled against God, not Jesus. They had taken these mythologies and every so many thousands of years they would weave together an older mythology to fit a certain political agenda they were doing. You got the most fucked up one there with Christianity bullshit. Satan died to save you all. He the motherfucker sacrificed Samuel. That's the serpent in the Garden of Eden, Samuel, which is Prometheus, which is all a form of Set Titan. Soot, the black one. Soot Nessie, Soot Nubit. You see? He died to save us all. You get this stuff? You gotta turn this shit all around. You gotta turn this shit all around. You can't be thinking holy. Holy is a political invention. Hate is good. Hate is love, goddammit. Think about it. Ooh. Don't you hate injustice? Yeah. Don't you hate oppression? Yeah. That's love, goddammit, ain't it? Yeah. Right. You hate it because you love something else. Think about this bullshit this goddamn religion giving you about love. Hate is the ultimate essence of alchemy. When you hate something, it's clear, cut through. Hate is love. Fucking Eddie Murphy told you this shit in damn Vampire in Brooklyn. Evil is good. You thinking that's some bullshit, but your mind just, you gotta get to a certain level to understand what this whole thing is. Do what you feel. That shit is contradiction. You hooking some cracker that done killed your baby and stomp your baby head in the damn ground. Martin Luther King bullshit. Fighting punk that. It's war. Let's go on. Y'all all right? It's war. The beings, the true beings, which is black people, have been fooled into always giving the robots or the white man the benefit of the doubt. Not being evil, the true beings do not automatically think evil of the others or the robots. And hence, they are vulnerable to all sorts of exploitations and manipulations of the damn robots. You see what I'm saying? That these particular robots and these manipulations, they use them so well. The true beings are, by definition, believe in goodness and divine love for all. They are taught brought peace by the evil religions on this plane into a position of accepting all filth that is thrown at them. They are trampled on at every turn. Only when they awaken, they will see the traps. The directives of which all evil ones take no notice. From the evil essence or the axioms keep the true beings subdued and cooperative and trapped and unaware of their being exploited. For example, such these axioms are: blessed are the peacemakers, turn the other cheek, forgive your enemies, blessed are the meek, they shall inherit the earth. Where did this garbage originate? From nowhere but the evil demiurge, which is the doggone people that's trying to keep us down here, who knew that if they could convince and brainwash the true beings with it, it would make them forget that they were in the midst of a war. Their resistance to him and his evil minions would be lessened. And this is exactly what had happened. You see what had happened? This is actually war. Now, let's go on so you can try to understand a couple of things right now on what's really going on. Anyway, Prometheus is staked to a mountain in Tartarus, which is the subconscious or mental, which is he becomes the pineal gland, Lucifer in other mythology. But he brings light because he stole light. He stole light and gave it to man. That's it. He gave it to man. That's the Kundalini energy. This is Prometheus up here, the pineal gland, but the light comes down here and goes up. And this is the so-called cross also of the staking. So he was staked to a cross. Anytime something is staked to something, it's literally talking about the physical body, first of all. This is the cross. When they tell you to bury your cross, it's the physical body. Now, let's get into some other science so you can understand some things right now. And I want to deal with this particular part right now. So the whole, remember in the movie Fallen, comes Azazel. Now the Azazel mythology is the same Prometheus one. What did Azazel do wrong? In another mythology in the book of Enoch, Azazel, seeing that man was in a wretched state, he taught man all the mysteries and the science of reading, writing, arithmetic, the science of the cosmos, the universe, astronomy, astrology, and all civilization. As a result, the higher gods up there got mad. Right. And Azazel and his crew, because they know through these particular magical arts of civilization and education, these people could ultimately learn more about themselves and raise themselves up.
Yeah, so the next video that we're gonna be getting into is Brother Panic's video, Lucifer. You'll basically see the thumbnail with Eddie Murphy from Coming to America. And as we get into that, Dr. Bass, like, please just break it down to the people. Like, yeah, these real, I mean, the stuff that they've been so-called teaching. And you know, I was taught from those who are wiser, those who have the experience, because wisdom is not something that can be taught. Wisdom is something that you have to go through, and you have to accept the situations for what they were, and that you yourself should allow yourself to grow from those experiences so that you could become wiser, more knowledgeable, and move forward having a good idea of what those situations mean to you, the individual, not what they mean to others. Because, hey, big shout out to the Ascended Master, Brother Panic. You came into this world alone, and you're going to leave this world alone. That's not to say you shouldn't wish well or you can't help others in any way, shape, form, or fashion where they may need it. But you came into this world alone, you're going to leave it alone. However, break it down to the people, Dr. Bass. Like, these religions, which are the true fucking evil, these teachings that they be, this garbage that they be giving us, which is the true evil. Like, these educational systems, which are not education, they're just training systems, domestication systems. Dr. Bass, please, in your true Akashic infinite inner knowledge. Break it down and let the people know just what fuckery they have to work on themselves on in order to get themselves out of this shithole.
Oh yeah, so like everything is in reverse, just like how they were saying, like if you receive like hate from like haters and everything like that, it's really meaning like they really love you or like love your energy and everything like that. So you just have to
Bingo.
alchemize. Yeah, you just have to alchemize everything to like you. It's not even really like alchemizing it, but just like it was like alchemizing it in your mind to be like, oh yeah, that's actually love instead of like so-called hate. Because if they giving you all this energy, then of course they really love you deep down. Because at the end of the day, they're the people who gonna be who always watch your videos, or those are the type of people who just sitting front row at your events and everything like that. So like it's really everything is just all in reverse, and then once you finally realize that through your mind, then you can kind of like start to see like, oh, okay, this is all just like a projection of what they trying to project as illusions, but I can transmute that energy into something positive and everything like that. But yeah, so
Yeah, big shout out to you right there, Brandon. Like for real, your haters are your biggest lovers. Oh man, that is just so fucking wise, right? Yo, write that down as a fucking quote from Brandon Lamar Bass himself. Your haters are really your biggest lovers. Big shout out to you right there, bro.
yeah, definitely no cap, yeah. But yeah, but what they were saying, like with the Kundalini energy and everything like that, it's just like raising up your energy and your frequency to a higher state to be like, okay, I can attract high vibrations because the low vibrations only attract low vibrations, the high vibrations attract more high vibrations. So as long as we can try to like maintain that high vibe, then that's all that really like matters at this point.
And Brandon, I actually remembered what it was I wanted to say earlier, bro. You know, like how these crackers, how they're trying to stop the fall of the system and whatnot, and how they're still trying to get melanated people to get behind them. Guess what? Remember the universal laws. It's seven main universal laws: the laws of Jehuti, the laws of Hermes. Hermes being the Greek version of Jehuti, which we're talking about ancient Egypt once more, but uh it's amazing when you look at it, right? They're trying to get in so-called black people's best interest, which is really only their best interest. When you look at the law of vibration and the law of um the laws of vibration, polarity, and rhythm, remember, everything vibrates, nothing really stands still, even this physical realm. The reason why a rock appears to be on not alive is because it's moving at a slower vibration. But think about it, even in SpongeBob SquarePants, they fucking showed us a rock won a fucking snail race. SpongeBob drove a fucking rock. Yo, they be putting the truth out there for us, my brother. I'm telling you, you can literally drive a rock, and you could literally have a rock as a pet. So this whole thing about a pet rock, you used to see those fucking scams about pet rocks and whatnot, right, bro? Yo, think about it. It's really stuff to just help people to raise up their vibrations, because it's been proven even on that same show, Dynasty, that I tell you my bloodkin sister be watching. Um, a pet could literally help you. An animal that you happen to have as a companion in your house could help you to lower your blood pressure levels and to just make you feel good. And that is a very good example of vibration, my brother. But you see, the crackers, what they be doing, they be trying to keep melanated people on the stupid, the mentally ignorant, and the so-called good polarity, because they know. Imagine if melanated people are the one true people who are best at showing love, and you fucking know that to be the truth, Brandon, because the amount of times that we continue to forgive and forgive and forgive these goddamn fucking humanoids over and over and over, when they should have been eradicated, annihilated, and completely wiped out off the face of this world. The fact that we show that higher level of love that these humanoids can't even begin to comprehend. If we were to show hate, if we were to truly manifest hate as the Christ energy truly manifests, as ancient mythology and ancient teachings clearly taught us, this fucking physical realm itself would have ended, just like what Lord Dunsani said. And when Manayut Sushai had awakened, the realms, all the realms ceased to exist. So I had to put that out there. These motherfuckers are, they comprehend what polarity is. You need not look further than the ending of Raiders of the Lost Ark. Go back and watch that movie, because the Ark of the Covenant is also, when you trace it back to Greek mythology with Pandora, and big shout out to Robert Graves. Yeah, Robert Graves. Get Robert Graves' book, The Greek Myths, as well as his book on mythology, where he goes into, in that particular book, he goes into the different mythologies around the world in ancient times, where he basically describes all of the gods, all of their functions, all of what the possible origins of these mythologies were, etc., etc. But when you get into the mythology with Pandora's box and how she unleashed pain and suffering and all that shit, the plagues, she unleashed the plagues upon the world. But that just comes with the fucking physical realm. That's just what the physical realm is. As a high vibrational or even lower vibrational spiritual beings, once you're in your true spiritual state and you're not attached to a physical body, you cannot feel pain. So pain is a fucking physical phenomena. Although if you were to remain fucked up in your mind, which is why I don't get why people make suicide look like as if it's a big fucking deal, especially when it releases the prisoner who's suffering whatever fucked up situation they're in from that physical bondage. Because think about it, bro. Why am I going to want to live a long life in this world, live to so-called old age and whatnot? And within my mind, I was so fucked up. I was so unhappy. I was not joyful. I was not content. I was sad all the time, depressed all the time. Bruh, like literally just take a fucking Glock or whatever. Make sure that you're in a high vibrational mind state. Oh boy, I'm going to heaven here. Fuck y'all. Bye. Blow. Big shout out to Brother Panic on that one, Dr. Bass. No, but for real, Brandon, why are you going to want to, based off of Christianity? Once again, Christianity and its absolutely fucked up teachings. It is better to fucking take yourself out and you're in a high vibrational mind state than to allow yourself to continue to live a long life, but you're absolutely miserable and fucked up. And that is for the literal, those are for the, this is for the, these are for the beings who are literally ready to get on that higher level spiritual meat, not the fucking milk that's for babies. Nah, we graduating from milk. We graduating from that childish stuff. Nah, if the cracker knows that if we get into the fucking hate polarity, he knows that he's done. And honestly speaking, yo, he best be fucking happy. He best be fucking happy that we've showed him love for that long. Because when that moment finally manifests for us to literally give this bitch what he fucking deserves, and all these other fucking humanoids and all the coon ass piece of shit niggas who literally stood on their side, man, they're gonna wish that they never had any experience in the physical realm to begin with. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, definitely. That's so true. Like the last thing I would say is like pain is definitely an illusion, but you can definitely suffering in your mind is definitely real. And we all like we will love beings because we operate like in our heart frequency, like the heart chakra and everything like that, because we're lighter than a feather. But like have us really tap into our shadow dark side, then like it will really be judgment day for like these beings, but it'll be coming either way. So
It's not, they can't stop it, they can't slow it down. So yeah, we're gonna get into the next video, bro, with the Eddie Murphy thumbnail. We are Lucifer. Yes. The Bible speaks about Lucifer having fall from glory and whatnot. Guess what? We fell from fucking glory and are experiencing this bullshit, right? Take it away, Brandon.
All right. And one more question, if y'all don't mind, just hear me out. Is it
Yes,
true that is it true that we are Lucifer and his 200 fallen angels?
Absolutely, because what Lucifer represents, Lucifer is the light bearer. The light
Right.
is your soul. Your body is bearing your soul. Your body, humanity, is Lucifer. Simple as that. These,
Okay.
as we were talking about earlier, Lucifer, Satan, the fall, Baphomet, the dark side, all of these negative polarity, positive polarity, all of these are different ways to explain how you were in heaven as the shit. You were in Zamunda. The royal penis is clean. Then your ass went to Queens, to Earth, to find Lisa.
Okay.
Let them have our princely robes. And your version, just like Eddie Murphy had to work at McDowell's, had to go to church, had to go to the barbershop. There's a big rat in my house, got a milkshake thrown on him. And how he was all of those things are represented as evil or the devil, as lowly, as blah, blah, blah. But when they give you the concept of the devil, they're trying to explain what your humanity is. Lowly, evil, greedy, gluttonous, sloth, envy. All of these things are what humans do. I don't give a fuck how nice you are. You're still going to be envious, greedy, sloth. It's built into our system to be envious. That's why we watch MTV Cribs. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. So this is what the energy of Lucifer is. Actual people, no such a thing. This is trying to explain, because you need to know exactly where you are before you can go anywhere. How do you get to my house? You don't know where the fuck you are. So you go to panic, how do I get to your house? All right, where you live at? I don't know. Then I don't know how to tell you to get the fuck over here. So if you know you are Lucifer, then you know your destination is the Christ energy or your father's business. So you're in negative polarity, the dark side. I am Lucifer. I am the devil. Now I am Christ, because I at least know who the fuck I am and where I'm going. If you don't even know you Lucifer, you haven't even started your project yet.
Right. Okay.
So all these days, I ain't the devil. The devil ain't got nothing to do with me. I feel sorry for them because they don't even know where they at. They think they're the light workers. So all these niggas who come as the light workers, you're missing a vital step. The vital step is to step into the darkness and understand Lucifer to actually become the light. So you're working with light. All you're doing is admiring. I'm the microwave worker. Why? Because I plugged it in? No. Heat it up. Cook some shit. So you are Lucifer. We are that, but that is trying to symbolically tell you of your energy as a human. And the smart human is actually Lucifer.
That's right.
The smart human is actually Lucifer, the light. And the smart human only represents the person who knows he's a fucking human and humanity ain't shit. That's when you become the king of humanity, when I know it ain't shit. When you master humanity, you're the father of hell. I'm the father of hell because I know how to master my humanity. And now you niggas can have that shit. You can have Lucifer tempts you because that's saying humanity is saying you can have all the riches of the world. And as a conscious person, no, I'm about my father's business. Who's your father? Your subconscious mind. Because your mind is the only thing that's you. And if your mind is the only thing that's you, and your mind represents Christ or Jesus or Horus on earth, then who's your father? Osiris, the god. I'm about my father's business, your subconscious mind. That's all it is. We have to take these mystical, outside of ourselves concept that you learn from church and start applying it to your human body, to your human thinking system, to your mind. That's what every goddamn mythology is talking about. All we're talking about is mythology. Even the devil falling to earth is nothing more than a mythology. It's a mythology because it never happened, and there are stories over and over about this fall.
Correct.
All right.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
Well, Dr. Bass, what could I say? Definitely one of the best modern teachers of this era. He did his work. He did what he had to do. He left it all behind. And I know for a fact that he made sure his heart was as light as a feather because, man, and it happened so suddenly when I received the news, Brother Panic. Yeah, he moved on from this world. His partner, Khadijah, as well as his sons, yeah, they had made it known when I had first watched the video. Man, I give nothing but love and respect to that brother. May he definitely be experience his version of heaven because, man, we all know that this is not where it's at. This ain't where it's at. But, man, just explain it in in brief to the people as we move on to the next video with the lovely Dr. Mumbi, like calling out Diddy as well as his puppet masters. So like, yeah, take it away, Brandon.
I'll definitely say like once you kind of like start to realize like humanity isn't anything, and once you like really fully master yourself, you can finally give that humanity BS like back to themselves, because at this point we have to view humanity like the majority, which is just sheep who are going to be led to the slaughterhouse at this point, because it's way fewer than the 144,000 if you really think about it. And at this point, you just have to do this for yourself. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
I mean, big shout out to Thai Spiritual for like mentioning it, because the 144,000 is actually the 144,000 melanated centers within our highest being. When we tap into that higher, the crown chakra, once we reach that part of the crown chakra in conjunction with all the other melanated chakras, because remember, big shout out to Dr. Layla Africa, us melanated beings have 12 base chakras closer to the physical body. And then when you get to the higher aspects of our beings, that's where you have way more melanated centers coming into play. So it's all about melanin. It's all about that cosmic universal force that we have to tap into in order to reach our true selves. But yeah, humanity ain't shit, my brother. Humanity is a fucking cancer. Humanity is the fucking enemy. Humanity is the garbage and the mess that we should be cleaning up. I mean, did Bobby not already mention in the video with Prometheus, why did Lucifer rebel? I don't appreciate the fact that you took my brethren and put them in fucked up bodies, you bitch ass nigga. I don't know who the hell this demiurge or this Yaldabaoth is, but that motherfucker, it was already prophesied in ancient scriptures, and in the end, all the gods will be swallowed up as well. So that bitch literally better be happy that yeah, he still got followers who want to continue to feed his monkey ass, but his the end of this system and this physical realm, man, it's gonna be the collapse of this bitch is going to be far greater than any movie, TV show, or cartoon that we've or video game that we've ever played or ever had a good time with, bro. Straight up.
Oh yeah, that's straight up. Um, is there like a time I should like skip it to, like 120 or something?
Oh, you could just go to 1 minute and 20 seconds or something like that. You know how Dr. Moonby is with her intros and whatnot, but lovely sister regardless. You know how it is, brother. Yeah, Dr. Bass, glad you remember, bro.
Mm.
Yeah, glad you remembered, bro. Glad you remembered.
Kind of gotten sucked in a little bit into some of the narratives of what's going on. They have brought him down like, whoa. But the thing I feel, family, is for me, first of all, it's always so disappointing, not to discredit what he's done or whatever, but it's always so disappointing how we miss the optics of what they're trying to do with the narrative. And how our people, even when we say it, even when we repeat it, our people are always the fall guy. Diddy belongs to a secret society and a club where they all did bad things. And the real reason they're even taking him down, and he got reckless and he thought he was untouchable. No one is untouchable. Especially if you're this color in Hollywood, you're not untouchable, family. Remember, the divided states is a white, it's a WS state, 100%. So anything that they have, be it their music, their whatever, we should never get too comfortable. But aside from all the drama of all the terrible things that he was involved in, and using the old school mafia, blackmail through like sex tapes and stuff, mafioso kind of moves, despite the fact that people are calling him the hip hop Epstein or whatever family. The fact is that on the other side, Diddy was like, the question we should be asking is, why are they bringing him down now? Because without the support of the secret societies that he belongs to, or the elite or whatever, no one would have been able to touch him. He was untouchable. People knew he was doing crazy things, and he was untouchable, family. No one could do anything. So why now? It has nothing to do with the public. It's like his brotherhood has decided to sacrifice him. So why sacrifice him and not Jay-Z and not all the others? Why go for him? First of all, because he has a lot of dirt on people, but what I feel is he stepped on the wrong toes. He pissed off his handlers, whichever handlers. He pissed off the puppet masters. And when we look at what he was doing business wise, like Revolt had become super powerful with his alcohol. It was actually starting to make inroads because what we don't realize now, family, is that the world is not run by the governments of this world. The world is actually run by corporations. Corporations are the ones who are funding the lobby groups, who fund the politicians, who tell the politicians what to do in return for money. And so it is oh my God, Errol, don't jump on me. Come on. It's super rainy. Come on. So it's like the politicians are controlled by the corporations, but it's the corporations ruling the world. It's the Bill Gates. Those are the guys who are ruling who are the puppet masters right now, whether we like it or not, family. The Elon Musks of this world, the Jeff Bezos of this world. There's so much I could say about all that stuff, but so we have to recognize that once again they're using the reason he was becoming a threat. It was just like Bill Cosby when he wanted to buy one of the major news channels, was it CNBC or whatever, and they went for him. Same thing with Diddy. Because there's even an interview where I was watching where he was talking about how he understands that there's going to be a transference of inheritance. And he actually said it live. Like he understands there's going to be a transference of wealth and he's positioning himself. So obviously, I mean, anyone who is in the music or film industry in Hollywood right now and you're this and you're not a Mzungu, you are literally like a house nigger. Let me just put it like that. Literally, that's what you are. And they will always look, you are not equal to them. They bring you in and they use you to mess up your people, but you're not one of them. And I think the Jay-Z's of this world, the P. Diddy's of this world have kind of gotten carried away in their importance. Now, the big thing, the reason even Diddy has been involved is because there is a major secret society war going on. I've been talking about this since everything I covered on Trump during the Trump election, and Trump is going to win again this year. I mean, whatever, come for me in the comments. That's what this whole thing is about. That's what everything, the Black Swan event that might be triggered in the divided states, all the migrants crossing, it's all about the secret society war that has been going on between Trump's secret society, which is more nationalist, but still Masonic, and the globalists who want one world order, who want all this one world government, one world religion, one world currency, all of that. They are at war. Because in order for this new world to emerge, they have to destroy the old world. And in the old world, the divided states was Rome. So all these things, remember the world is a stage. Diddy has pissed off the wrong people and he was overreaching as a black man. He was trying to get too powerful and he was getting sloppy, he was getting arrogant. He's the fall guy. But you see how now everyone's talking about the black man and everyone's forgetting about Epstein and his list and who was on his list. And of course, there's so much more I could say about Diddy, but just know, like, on the deeper, higher level, it's really not even about him. But it's about a secret society war, and it's also about distracting you from making the necessary preparations, distracting you from using your attention to focus on what's really important, which is the Black Swan event that is getting ready to take place in the divided states. But those are stories for other days. Special shout out to everyone that supports us on Patreon. Thank you so much.
Just a couple of things as we move on to the next video, bro, explaining the Necronomicon. But a couple of things. Do remember that Bill Cosby, I think it was years before they decided to put dirt in his eye, just like Bully Maguire's memes and whatnot, lol. But he wanted to buy a particular broadcast network, or maybe it was like a group of them. I can't recall, but you could definitely do the research. You could check like DuckDuckGo or any other alternative website and whatnot. Bill Cosby wanted to buy a broadcast network at the very least. Michael Jackson, remember years ago, Michael Jackson, years before he decided to go on his final tour, he would have become a majority owner in Sony's stake. Guess what? All of these melanated people, the moment they're ready to make a move to fucking throw these crackers in the garbage, they literally put dirt in their eye. And like what Dr. Mumbi said, this ain't got nothing to do with Diddy. It has to do with the fact that, yeah, it's a secret society war that even Bobby Hemmett himself mentioned back in the day, but it even mentions it in the King James Bible, if I'm not mistaken. When there is fighting among them, you will know that the end is near. And I could go on, but Dr. Bass, as we go into the Necronomicon video, just like break it down for the people. Like shit is going down, and yeah, it's clear to. We should really sing. We should really sing praises of. We should really start to sing praises that this cracker and these humanoids are finally going to shit. And honestly, I don't give a fuck if millions of these motherfuckers get taken out because we already know it's not the majority. It's the majority that's not going to make it any fucking way. But either way, Dr. Bass, please break it down to the people. Y'all best get your fucking asses ready because whatever is gonna go down with this system, however it's going to be, oh, definitely no movie, no disaster movie, no fucking movie with like high octane action and events and whatnot can ever compare to the shit that's about to go down with the fall of this fucking fake matrix system. Take it away, Brandon.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's all deeper than what people assume and everything like that. And really at this point we should be like celebrating instead of celebrating it and everything like that. But like the crazy thing is it's like they're gonna have people be in feel and move in feel and everything like that. But in actuality, this is for our greatest good and everything like that. So they just want you to be at that low vibrational state so they can, steal your energy and everything like that. But we all see like the system is crumbling and everything like that.
I mean, Brandon, at this point, really and truly, like the soul contract thing that you always like to bring up, it makes so much sense, right? Bobby Hemmett used Malcolm X as a good example. Malcolm came, he literally went through all the different phases that he had to go through within his own life experience. He literally taught as he had to teach. He literally went through all the situations that he had to go through. So when it was all said and done, it appears as if somebody killed him. But really, when you stop and think about it, bro, Malcolm already left so much behind, right? Who fucking cares how he went out? It didn't matter if he took himself out. And that probably would have been far more honorable. Because, like what we said earlier, man, fuck this world. I'm going to my version of heaven. Peace, bitches. Blow! Like, literally fucking ended and whatnot. Like, never be afraid to fucking take yourself out, especially when you know you're in a fucked up situation and that you're still in a high vibrational, higher level mind state. When you know that there's something far greater waiting on the other side for you, because like Bobby Hemmett said in a video that I watched, it was titled Judas and Christ or something like that, where he was, well, that's not the name of the lecture, but you get what it is I'm saying. uh he mentioned about how yeah, people often say, oh, don't worry, like when a loved one or somebody that you knew well enough is finally like moving on to the other side, oh, they're in a better place. Oh, okay, so they're in a better place. They're in a better place, but your monkey ass is still crying. They're in a better place, but your bitch ass is. You get what I'm saying, Brad? They're in a better place, but you're fucking still crying? You should be rejoicing, motherfucker. They're in a better place. They don't have to deal with this goddamn physical world no more. And anyway, yeah, you definitely say what it is you gotta say, bro, as we get into the next video, because really, it's all really starting to come to a head in this physical realm, and there's nothing that they can do to you except what your true self allows you to go through, because they can't even approach you when it's all said and done.
Yeah, that's straight facts. I'll just play the video.
All right, we're going to be reading from this book here called The 13 Gates of the Necronomicon by Donald Tyson. And the 13 gates are the 13 zodiac signs, as we talked about in previous lessons, remember? All right, so go ahead and start on this page here, son, with this quote from H.P. Lovecraft. Go ahead.
For he who passes the gateways always wins a shadow, and never again can he be alone. H.P. Lovecraft, the book.
Right. That's a quote from Lovecraft, and go ahead and read this section here.
The unique mythology created by the American writer of horror fiction, Howard Phillips Lovecraft, 1890 to 1937, will in this work be referred to as the Necronomicon mythos.
Right. And a mythos is a mythology, right?
Right.
And mythology is a spiritual language. Mythology is a symbolic representation of things which can be used as a spiritual vehicle that can take you places. Mythology is a conglomeration of symbolic stories that represent aspects of truth which you can use to discover within yourself. So it's like fiction that represents something that's true. I've even heard people say mythology is some of the most realist stuff because it represents truth. It's symbolic. So we're going to get further into this so that you can unlock this vital knowledge to unlock vital parts of yourself. Because I believe that this mythology, which came from Lovecraft, is actually a tool that you can use to connect with these energies, which are facets of your subconscious mind. Lovecraft received visions and dreams from the collective consciousness, which is within your reality. Because Lovecraft is really a part of your dream. All of this is your dream. You understand that?
Yeah.
This whole reality, it's all just a light illusion that your soul is experiencing. All right, so go ahead and continue reading at this part right here.
Lovecraft intertwined 4 thematic threads in his stories, only one of which directly concerns Cthulhu. However, the Necronomicon book touches upon all 4 of them. These threads cannot be easily separated since they cross over at various points like a woven fabric, but they can be distinguished.
Right, so real quick, to basically explain what the Necronomicon is, to give a brief definition of it. The Necronomicon is not any official text or particular book.
Yeah.
There's no text or book that is officially the Necronomicon. It's not a book in the way that we typically think of a book. Like, for example, the Bible is a specific text, or the Quran is a specific text. The Necronomicon is not a specific text. It's actually known as a fictional grimoire which came from Lovecraft stories, you know. And some say the Necronomicon is the Cthulhu mythos, that it is Lovecraft's mythology. You know, I've even heard people say the real Necronomicon is the story, The Call of Cthulhu. But here's what you need to understand. Just because it's based here on fictional stories does not mean that it's not real. It is real, right? Fictional stories can contain real spiritual energy. Right? So the Necronomicon is a real thing. It's a frequency that can be tapped into. Right?
Right.
It's not one specific book that you would physically pick up with your hands and read. However, there are many published books out there that bear the name Necronomicon, which can be purchased at bookstores or ordered online. And these are like physical published books. To name a few of the most popular ones, there's the Simon Necronomicon, the John D Necronomicon, the Donald Tyson Necronomicon, the Geiger Necronomicon, and there's a few others. There's many of them, actually. And we're going to be reading from a couple of them in the next coming lessons. And all of these published books that bear the name are also themselves Necronomicon. Right? Anyone can actually write their own Necronomicon book. We can write our own Necronomicon book. In fact, anything that is about the dark, hidden, scary, gloomy, unknown things that are unseen of the subconscious mind or hidden within the depths of the universe can be considered Necronomicon. Right? So what you need to understand is that the Necronomicon is really about you. It's about your subconscious mind. All right, so continue reading right here.
One thread of each Cthulhu is a part concerns alien races from distant star systems or other dimensions of space and time that contested with each other for the rule of the primordial earth long before the evolution of mankind. They still wait in secret places for the stars to come right in the heavens so that they can emerge and displace us as masters of this world. These beings are not evil. They are merely aloof from the concerns of humanity. They regard us as we might regard a species of bacteria.
Right. So as you just read there, it's concerning these alien races from distant star systems. That's what this mythology is about. These beings are not evil, but they are aloof from the concerns of humanity. Right. So it's talking about the primordial beings, also known as the great old ones. Right. That's what Lovecraft stories are about. Cthulhu is probably the most popular being of the so-called Necronomicon mythos. And then there are other ones such as Azathoth, Yog-Sothoth, Nyarlathotep, Dagon, Shub-Niggurath, which actually I have pictures of them on the wall here in the garage, which you can see up here. Remember in lesson 51 when we were reading the Gospel of Thomas, where it talks about the dark primordial beings, which predate this material world, which are older than light form itself? That's what this is about. The primordial ones who are older than the Abrahamic God that said, "Let there be light." Right? The primordial beings, they're the old ones. They were around long before physical form and light creation, right?
Right.
Right. So these fictional stories that H.P. Lovecraft wrote are really about your primordial self. Because these beings are the beings of the darkness. They're the beings of the initial chaotic universe. It's a representation of different aspects of your own soul. That's what it's about. Your soul is native to the chaotic dark universe. Right?
Right.
Right. So, yeah, these stories are about your inner dark self. Remember in lessons 5 through 12 when we learned from the Apocryphon of John that your soul is actually older than the Abrahamic God. That's in the Apocryphon of John. Right? Your own soul predates the Abrahamic God, who is the demiurge who created this world. Remember what Jesus told us in the Apocryphon of John? We read about this in lessons 5 through 12. Jesus explains why this God says in the Bible, "I am a jealous God," because the biblical God, who is the demiurge, is actually jealous of you because your soul is older than he is. And we also learned that the biblical God, the demiurge, is the creator of this fake illusionary world. That's in the Apocryphon of John. Jesus explains all of these things. So what you need to know is that your soul is actually at home in the primordial dark matter, which is what there was in the beginning of all things. Right? Your soul is much older than this physical light universe here. Right? You are not this human form. This human form is an illusion. You are actually the dark matter experiencing itself in this physical light body right now. Anything of 3D material form is a light illusion. That's what you need to know. This world that the Abrahamic demiurge created is not real. Right? We learned that in lesson 1. Right? So to wrap this up, Lovecraft's mythology is really about the most truest and real thing, which is the darkness, which is the primordial chaos that predates this human light illusion, this 3D material world, which is your primordial self, which is your soul, which is your true identity. Right? These beings of the darkness that Lovecraft writes about are like fictional representations of your true inner deep subconscious mind that is the gateway to your soul. And I'm going to show you how to prove this to yourself, right, through astral traveling, which you remember you recently told me that you've had some success astral traveling, remember? You said the other night you were able to actually somewhat leave the body, which is different than a dream, which is not, we're not talking about dreaming here. We're talking about actually exploring the universe, which is yourself. Which is you're going to go deep into your subconscious self, which is actually the universe. It's going to be fun. We're going to get into this. All right, so that's all for now. With the next lesson, we'll get.
Well, Dr. Bass, what could I say? The information is out there. And I shared the video with y'all with Brother Panic not long ago. We are in the information age. If there is any freaking individual who still want to go with this Judaism, Christianity, Islam bullshit, which is interesting because you could read Walter Williams' book, both of his books, the historical origins of Islam and the historical origins of Christianity. Islam is literally the Arabs bullshit. Because you have to remember, we gave these humanoids these religions so that they could comprehend how to behave themselves, how to stop moving about animals in such an absolutely barbaric, low-level, savage state. But we, being the creators of civilization, us being the fathers and mothers of civilization, what need do we have for a fucking stupid book? Or a religion for that matter? We are literally the gods, literally experiencing life within this fake-ass 3D limited human experience, as the brethren in the video perfectly summed it up. Like, bro, this is literally just a temporary experience. And as we move into the next video, Bobby Hemmett, essentially the next video that I shared, bro, where Bobby explains death and how you should actually love death, because death is really nothing more than the separation of the true spiritual being, the true man and woman, from their physical prison. I mean, for fuck's sake, where the hell is the Grim Reaper to literally come by and literally free me from this shit, man? I guess he knows that I still have work yet. I still yet have work to do with you, bro. So when it's all said and done, we could literally skedaddle up out of this bitch. You know what I mean? For real.
Oh yeah, man! Like shout out to that kid. Like when he was saying, that was funny. I'm not even gonna cap to you. I might have to use those as ad-libs, but like teaching it though, teaching kids and the audience was definitely dope, and like it just shows that everything that's physical is illusion, and everything that's like technically physically or like material is really fake. So.
I really got to give a big shout out to H.P. Lovecraft, his so-called racist ass. But then again, H.P. Lovecraft, he was wise because he knew what us melanated beings really were behind these fucking physical bodies. And Aleister Crowley himself is another individual who deserves big shout out, because remember, like Bobby Hemmett said, a lot of these so-called white people think that they were doing it for themselves. No, they became the custodians for us to preserve our knowledge and information, because the ancestors knew that we would fall into a deep vibrational knockout blow state. You know what I mean? So, but whatever, Dr. Bass. We get into the next video. Yeah, just let the people know what they should know.
Oh yeah, I'll let Bobby Hemmett do this one. Let's see.
Definitely, bro, for real.
It was that the so-called gods that we worship, based on, see, if you get an older text, the ship turns, because we still have the Judeo-Christian model in our head. So therefore, everything, it's just like I was talking about at the beginning of the thing, based on the psychological aspect of the sister from Mississippi. So Mississippi, because she only was introduced to so anything spiritual by Christianity, that was the only thing that registered. Well, because that is in us, that's like a block or a cancer or something that you see what I'm saying? You see, a drug, basically. You see. And so therefore, everything we do, even though we learn new stuff, it still filters in as the Judeo-Christian thought process. You see. Well, if you go back more ancient, and this is why the Judeo-Christian religion comes in and it rejects everything prior to its inception. And it rejects everything because if you go back, you will find out more of the truth. That the gods in the heaven are the God in the heaven. If you want to say it's gods or the God in the heaven, you'll find out in actuality is the enemy. And not only he's the enemy, he's not the God Almighty, he's only the God of creation. That's why you call him the Creator. You see.
Creation ain't a good thing, though.
No, creation ain't shit. Creation ain't nothing but a prison cell to trap the higher, most ancient spirits in. You must understand this over and over. You must develop a hatred for the world around you. This is what's going to save you. This means now you develop the hatred, you don't necessarily have to go kill yourself. Some person said, well, if we do all this, why don't we just kill ourselves? The mystery here is to let the alchemical component of the melanin inside of yourself line up on its own. When this particular stuff inside of you in your central nervous system lines up on its own, it brings on an alchemical death anyway and throws off this physical body. But the ultimate goal is to die. It's the ultimate goal. Some of y'all are saying right now, you know, I'm tired right now, shit. Lay down and shit. And the only reason why you ain't took the plunge is because you've been programmed that that's wrong. Right. And you've been programmed that it's fear on the other side. Right. But like I told you, you ain't seen none of your ancestors trying to beat back the door to get down to the back down this shit here. Some of them don't know your ass since they left here. Can't get in touch with them. Can't do nothing. They don't want to see your ass now. You see what I'm saying? Because ultimately we're not related to each other in the physical sense. You see what I'm saying? That's just some foolishness. And all. But one of the keys here is you must develop this particular hatred for the world around you. So that the one way to do that is to throw off the anesthesia. I just get sick of so many black people and all trying to find a niche in what they're going to do to try to bring some pleasure to this bullshit down here. Or what their little pathetic lives and what their career and what I'm going to do and this is me. It don't have shit to do with that. Develop a hatred and all. This is a form of the illumination of getting the latent forces in your body to go to another level, is signaling to the mind that you're tired of this shit every day.
And when you die, that's it. So that leads us to the other question. You have to have a love for death. You have to fall in love with death. Only till you develop a love for death that you really start to truly live. So that's why the ancient Camites had the funerary scenes all around them. When you fall in love with death, then you truly live. You know, they said once you lose it all, that's it. It's in the movie Fight Club. They say you ain't gonna do it. You won't be able to do this shit till you hit rock bottom. Final destination. So that's the concept. In the book of the law, it says you should long for death. You should love death. But once you ponder death, then the rest of this shit out here don't mean nothing no more.
And so one of the greatest problems ever is to understand death. That's one of the greatest problems ever. We don't understand death. Every day you wake up should be a bad fucking day. Fall in love with death. The book of the law says you should long for death and love for death. Now, what is this talking about here? Now, Alan Boyd Kuhn wrote his book, Lost Light, and he made an observation that other Egyptologists couldn't do, and guess what? I guess that's why his shit ended up being banned and suppressed. And he says the fact stands, they talk about the Egyptians. I want to get this right. The Egyptians, the fact stands that they did call our life here death. And that what we speak of, when we speak of the dead in the sacred books, that is indubitable that they meant living humans. So in so many words, when they speak of the death in the books, they meant living humans. The word death and the dead are used in the old scriptures, refer to living humanity in earthly embodiment. Now that is some profound shit. We scurrying mortals are the dead. This is some nightmare shit. Right. You understand? We sitting up here. I'm not talking about dead in consciousness. Right. Truly we are dead in consciousness. That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is all this shit we be seeing in these horror movies and in these sci-fi shits. You need to read the scriptures because they ain't got nothing on these scriptures. Right. Now they say that the Egyptians were the most illumined people ever to walk the face of the earth, the Africans. Right. They call them a sage race, a teacher race. Okay? A teacher race. Now, the Egyptians said that we scurrying mortals are the dead. of the Bible and other sacred books. And the dead spoken up there is the living existence here.
I mean, seriously, Brandon, watching all those horror movies, especially when I think it was just this past Sunday, I watched Sugar Hill, the original 1974 Sugar Hill with Baron Samedi and the Loa, and just the concept of death and how awesome death really is. Like, you literally hanging out with these powerful, awesome, higher level spiritual beings who could literally help you to fulfill a particular task. And in Sugar Hill's case, it was completely warranted because her lover, who she was about to be married to, was killed by some cracker and his minions. They even had a Sambo Coon nigga in there too. Y'all should watch that movie, 1974, Sugar Hill, the original Sugar Hill. There's a 1995 movie with Wesley Snipes, but nah, we're talking about the deep, esoteric, spiritual stuff right here, my brother. Like when you watch movies like that and Dracula, yeah, with the concept of immortality, the fact that you're literally crossing that threshold, like, and they got motherfuckers so afraid of something that they should really be embracing. As we move on to the next video, where Brother Panic explains death in far more detail, bro, man, just like let people know, yo, don't be afraid to fucking even take yourself out if the situation calls for it, because this world ain't shit. This is a fucking prison. Like what Brother Panic said in one of his lectures, saying Earth is fun is the equivalent of saying prison is fun. I mean, make no mistake, prison can be fun, but you're in fucking prison. The whole goal of it is to get out of it. I don't care if Earth is a fucking silver platter. I don't care if it's a literal boot that you wear outside to literally protect your feet from fucking rainwater and mud and all that shit. I don't care what the fuck this Earth is. Round, square, rectangular. You should be working your ass to get off of it. Plain and simple. Anything you want to add as we get into Brother Panic's explanation of it, my brother?
Yeah, the only thing I'll say is like we definitely have to get out of it because this isn't our home. Creation is the demiurge, so it's fake. Source is who we truly are, not the creator. Suicide isn't bad. You have to love death. Living here will not actually living, and we're truly alive once you're dead.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you could imagine the spiritual brethren. They see us as fucking dead, my brother, which is exactly why when we get back to the other side, these motherfuckers should put respect on us because we went through this hell. We went through this death. We went through this bullshit. We're the ones who definitely deserve to be worshipped, not those motherfuckers up there. Many of them are intelligent enough to know they don't want to experience this shit. And even the motherfuckers who did experience this shit, like Bobby Hemmett said, you don't see them literally coming back into the physical bodies that they last inhabited, busting down the door to literally come back through this shit. You ain't seeing them doing any of that shit. Fuck this shit.
Yeah, that's
For real, bro. For real, for real. Like who in their right mind is gonna want to come back to this shit unless you're talking about going into the light and your stupid ass get reincarnated and you're literally tap dancing on a fucking stage. Tap dancing on a fucking stage. Imagine you were a high priest, right, bro? You were literally explaining to people everything that they had to do to get out of this fucking world. Next thing you know, your monkey ass go into the light, you get reincarnated, and then you come back into this dumb motherfucker tap dancing like a fucking maniac. I mean, holy shit, man.
That's great.
Oh, let's get into it, Brandon. Let's get into it, bro.
Movie What Dreams May Come, what they talk about, Cuba Gooding Jr., he says, well, you're making this world down here. This is your world. He said, this world I'm in after he died is like a picture me and my wife bought at a flea market. We looked at this picture. We said we must have it. This is our idea of heaven. So we hung it on our wall. So now when he died, he was in his idea of heaven on that wall. So he was, Cuba Gooding Jr. was telling him, no, this is your world. I'm in your world. He said, when I'm here in your world, we're co-creators. But I'm creating in your world. But all of this is from you and your mind. He said, ironically, down here, the way we get things or make things happen is thinking of them. Now, this is one of the most profound movies about what happens when you die in the astral world, because all the shit they were saying was absolutely true. His wife, who killed herself because she couldn't take the death of her kids, and her husband went to what they call hell, and they had the true definition. It was still the astral world. It was no place below the fucking earth where it was hot, but it was her definition. What became hell for her was living in that house alone, and she was destined to live in that house alone. Based upon, they said suicide, but that's not the case. If you kill yourself, you're not going to your hell. Where they get that from is most people who do kill themselves have built a hell already in their mind based upon their life. So if you kill yourself,
Bingo.
I'm God, I'm going back to heaven, that's where you go. But most people are under stress, under duress, under some sort of strain who kill themselves. So that strain in their mind, or where the state of their mind becomes the heaven, or what we call hell. That's the closest you're going to get to hell, your own mind. Because your own mind is in control and creating everything. So all of those who are conscious, y'all have nothing to worry about, because y'all at least just know you exist after the body hits the ground. Most people don't know that. So since you know that, you're already in a place of saving yourself, of controlling your next existence, whether that's coming back here or moving on, based upon your consciousness of death. So, and not even I know this and I know that, just the fact that you know there's something beyond just laying in the ground and Jesus coming to rescue your ass. That's enough. Just knowing beyond that is enough to save your ass. So that's a movie I recommend. It's called What Dreams May Come, Robin Williams, Cuba Gooding Jr., because they explain the entire situation about the afterlife, even the cosmic boat, because the cosmic boat concept in the astral world is what's actually going to take your soul. Your soul is actually called the cosmic boat. It was called the solstice boat or some shit like that, or but Isis's boat at first, then it became the sun boat of Ra. But it was all this boat, or you see these Egyptians on the boat, is a representation of your soul. And when you meet Ra in the sun boat, that means you're actually also leaving the astral world, which is a part of this illusionary world. So that soul boat is also what you see in Peter Pan. Captain Hook represents Saturn, Death, or Kronos. And Captain Hook, with that hook, is Kronos. And he's on his boat trying to get Peter Pan to die or get him out of the astral world where his spirit is there forever. He's trying to get his soul to move to the great beyond. When you watch the movie What Dreams May Come, there's a scene where they was going to walk on this dark boat. And you see nothing but chaos niggas there. That was most interesting of all, because it's actually nothing but black people on this wild-ass boat. And they show that. And they're showing, no, this is the realm of the nigga, the chaos realm. Very profound movie. But so what I'm trying to get you to understand through that is your mind is all. What you believe, that's why I started with fake it till you make it and all the rest of that, because what you believe will become your afterlife. So if you were believed that you were pursued by the Illuminati, if you believe that chemtrails have fucked you up, and GMO food and all the rest of that shit that you complain about as niggers endlessly, you take this thought process with you into the afterlife.
I mean, at this point, right, bro? Who fucking cares what the goddamn Illuminati thinks? First of all, they're the fake Illuminati. Brother Panic himself already explained how we are the true Illuminati. Illumin coming from Latin illuminus, to enlighten, the true light beings. We are who? Lucifer, right? The light bearers. We are the true light. They're the fucking zombie parasites that want to siphon our light. But guess what? We give them power because we are the true power. These motherfuckers never were the power. The melanated woman, the day she can come back to her mind and realize that she is the standard of beauty, watch them literally just throw every fucking wig and all of that stupid bullshit in the garbage because they don't fucking need it. These women trying to be like you, but you trying to be like them? Some psychological bullshit right there. And on top of that, know for a fact, like what Brother Panic said, oh my goodness gracious, yo, you know this is the kind of stuff that we should be getting into in order to raise ourselves up and get up out of this bitch, my brother. The fact that when we get on that the boat of Ra or the boat of Aset, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. The fact that you get on that boat and you literally travel into the astral realm and you literally take the necessary route to get up out of this bitch. Read Judy K. King's books, Balls of Fire, the Isis Thesis. There's another one. It's 3 books, but Judy K. King, get her books, and yo, bro, I'm telling you, it's just some good fucking stuff. The fact that yo, uh, that's the problem with most people is that when they commit suicide, long before the suicide, their mind is already in a fucked up place. But guess what? You got people living long fucking lives, praising Jesus, hallelujah, and all that stupid shit. And guess what? When it all said and done, their mind is still in a fucked up place. They're still in a fucking fucked up place so that when they die of old age or whatever the hell they want to say, when they die of old age and whatnot, they still end up reincarnating and coming back into this piece of shit. So, Dr. Bass, as we get into the last video, the 42 negative confessions and whatnot, the soul is innocent. The soul is literally, the soul has never sinned, essentially. Like, just break it down to the people, my brother. Yo, death is what you should long for. Death is the number one thing you should want every time you come back into this piece of shit, because you precede this fucking light code universe, this illusionary video game, a lousy video game experience, mind you. I've actually played video games that are way better than this stupid shit, my brother. Take it away, Brandon. I've played video games that are better than this fucking stupid shit, Brandon. Take it away, Brandon.
Yeah, at this point, like, with people living so like longer lives and everything like that, they're still like so messed up in the brain and everything like that. And then once you get older, of course, you're not gonna try to find new information and everything like that, because you're just gonna have that program of like, oh yeah, because I'm old, that means I'm knowledgeable and everything like that. But no, you're just knowledgeable about like physical worldly things. So at this point, you're just knowledgeable about this fake creation at this point. And at this point,
Go.
try, yeah, so like, try not to complain as much, transmute negative energy, fake it till you make it. Mindset and visualization is key, and death is way better than this fake creation at this
You damn fucking skipping, bro, my brother. And see, the thing about it is too, Brandon, uh, you got to remember one thing. The cracker's number one tool is his fiat currency making, and something I had to put out there for real. I don't get right how millions of Americans, as a good example, could let a foreign entity that has nothing to do with the operations that are going on in the country. They're not even an American entity, aka the Federal Reserve. How in the absolute fuck could millions of Americans allow a foreign entity to have say in how they should live their lives based off of the economy and all that shit? Absolute fucking bullshit. I had to put it out there, right? And another thing, right? How is it that these crackers have a machine or machines that could print fiat currency into oblivion, but you still got fucking poor people out there on the streets? Oh yeah, people are afraid to fucking say it. Actually, I give big shout out to Mike Maloney and Adam Taggart and such individuals who are literally putting it out there, because they're telling you to prepare yourself based off of this bullshit economy. Stock up on food, stock up on water, never stop stocking up, because better to have it and don't need it than to need it and you don't fucking have it. You know what I mean, Dr. Bass? And that's on a physical level. But I mean to say, how is it that people don't stop and think about this shit? And listen, keep learning new things as much as possible, especially when it comes to the spiritual aspect, because that's exactly what's going to get you up out of this motherfucker. Any last things you want to say as we get into the last video, King?
point. Oh, nah, you touched on everything, okay.
Let's do it, my brother.
Hi everybody, and today we're going to be reading the Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Right, we got the Book of the Dead, also known as the Kemetic or Egyptian Book of Coming Forth by Day. Gonna give some Gnostic interpretations on this.
Right.
Right, so this is the 42 negative confessions of Ani. The 42 things Ani is saying he never did while he was living here. Right. And so he's traveling through the duat, the underworld, the hereafter. So Ani is letting him know, I never did any of these 42 things.
Right.
Right. All right, so we're going to give a Gnostic perspective on this. Go ahead and start reading right here. Go ahead.
All right. I have not done iniquity.
Never committed iniquity.
I have not robbed with violence.
Never stuck anyone up. Never pulled a jack move. Never robbed anyone.
I have not stolen. I have not stolen.
Right. Never took anything that wasn't mine. Not even a candy bar from the corner store when I was a kid. Right. Keep going.
Right. I have not done no murder.
Right. Never committed any 1A7. Never killed anyone.
I have not done no harm.
Never harmed anyone.
I have not defrauded offerings.
Never defrauded offerings.
I have not diminished oblations.
Yep, that never happened. That never took place. Never diminished any oblations.
I have not plundered the God.
Right, never plundered the God.
I have spoken no lies.
Never told any lies, always told the truth. No lie ever came out of this mouth. Never happened.
I have not snatched away food.
Never took no food out of no one's mouth.
I have not caused pain.
Never made anybody hurt.
Right. It says, I have not committed fornication.
Right, never did any naughty business. Right?
Right. I have not caused shedding of tears.
Never made anyone sad.
Right. I have not dealt deceitfully.
Never deceived anyone.
I have not transgressed.
Right, never went backwards, never transgressed.
I have not acted guilefully.
Guilefully. Right, never did that. That never happened.
I have not laid waste the plowed land.
Plowed land. Never disrespected the farm crops, right? Go ahead.
Right. I have not been an eavesdropper.
Right, I never listened in, never spied, never eavesdropped.
I have not set my lips in motion against any man.
Right, never set my lips in motion against any person, never spoke against any person, right?
I have not been angry and wrathful, except for a just cause.
Right, anytime I was angry or wrathful, it was for a just cause. I never did it when it was uncalled for.
I have not defiled the wife of any man.
Right, never did the barracuda dance with the neighbor's wife. Go ahead.
I've not defiled the. I'm sorry. I've not.
Oh, it says it twice. I have not defiled the wife of any man. So that never happened.
Yes.
That day the neighbor wasn't home and the wife asked you to come over to change the light bulb, you never fooled around. That didn't happen.
I have not polluted myself.
Right, never put anything inside my body that was bad for me. Never polluted myself.
I have not caused terror.
Never frightened anyone. Never caused anyone any terror.
I have not transgressed.
Never went backwards. Never transgressed.
I have not burned with rage.
That never occurred ever. I've never burned with rage.
I have to stop my ears against the words of right and truth.
I have not
stopped
my ears against the words of right and truth. Right.
I have not worked grief.
Right.
I have not acted with insolence. I have not stirred up strife.
Never happened. I never did any of those things.
I have not judged hastily.
Never judged hastily anyone.
I have not been an eavesdropper.
Had to reiterate that again.
I have not multiplied words exceedingly.
Never did that. Never multiplied any words exceedingly.
I have done neither harm or ill.
Against anyone.
I have never cursed the king.
Right, the king is the homie. I wouldn't curse him. Never happened.
I have never fouled the water.
Right, I never relieved myself in a stream or a pond or a creek. I never fouled the water once, ever.
I have not spoken scornfully.
Ever.
I have never cursed God.
Right.
I have not stolen.
Never took anything that wasn't mine.
I have not defrauded the offerings of the gods.
Right.
I have not plundered the offerings to the blessed dead.
Right, never took anything from the blessed dead, like when they put out flowers and fried chicken for people who have passed away. I never snuck in there and took a piece of chocolate or a piece of chicken. Go ahead.
I have not filched the food of the infants, neither have I sinned against the God of my native town.
And the last 40-second negative confession of Ani here.
I have not slaughtered with evil intent the cattle of the God.
Never slaughtered with evil intent the cattle of the God. So what this means is that it's an acknowledgement that none of this is actually real.
Right.
Right? So this tree behind us is not really real. The shirt you're wearing,
yes.
These shades, my scarf, your body, your flesh, the earth, this is all just like a light illusion that your soul is experiencing. It's all one big video game that your soul is playing. None of this is really real. This is just an illusion. So your ego may have done these things,
Right.
Right? Your ego may have done the barracuda dance with the neighbor's wife.
Yes.
Right? Your ego may have taken a Snickers bar from the corner store when you were a kid. Your ego may have stolen. Your ego may have told lies.
Right.
But have you actually done any of these things?
No.
No, because you are not.
My ego.
Right. Exactly. The ego is experiencing this illusion. The ego is the name on the driver's license or on the birth certificate. Right?
Right.
So when it says in this Egyptian Book of the Dead here that the heart is going to be weighed on the scale against the feather, right? It says if the heart is heavier, it's hell. If the feather's heavier, it's heaven. So what that means is the feather has to be heavier than the heart. You can't take these things with you into the hereafter, or you're going to be remaining attached. The heart is the center of what you love, right? What you love.
Yes.
Right? So you can't be attached to any of these things. You can't take any attachment to any of these things with you. You have to be able to let it all go.
Yes.
You can't take the time that you did the barracuda dance with the neighbor's wife with you into the hereafter. You can't take that into your heart. When your heart is weighed on the scale against a feather, you can't take the time that you snuck that candy bar out of the store when you were a kid in your heart into the hereafter.
Right.
You have to let all of these things go. You can't be attached.
Right.
The feather has to be heavier than the heart when the heart is weighed on the scale.
Right.
Right?
Right.
If the heart is heavier, that means you believe that all of this was real and you're attached to all of this.
Yeah.
You're going to stay right here. You're going to reincarnate. You're going to be put right back into another womb and born right back out of another body.
Yes.
And you're not going to ascend. We did the homework, the mathematics, the ISIS thesis, the way.
Man, Brandon, as we conclude this, man, that is a really good one to end it on because, yeah, like I said, if it had to come down to all of that stuff, which you should and should not do. Actually, it was literally only saying stuff that you didn't do and whatnot. So, by that logic, I should literally live life as a fucking statue. If I were to use Christian terms, I lived life like a freaking statue. So there's no way that the God of the Bible could possibly send me to hell because I didn't do a goddamn thing. You know what I mean, bro? I was as stiff as a statue, so you can't hold anything against me. But then again, even the Bible itself says, as a man thinketh, so is he. And God knows the heart of men and stuff like that. So, goodness gracious, fuck that goddamn book. Fuck that religion. Fuck these new religions. We've definitely come to the end of this life, man. Dr. Bass, I'm telling you, like, much appreciation, bro. And all of that stuff has nothing to do with that which we truly are, because that which we truly are isn't even experiencing this physical realm. We're lucid dreaming, letting people know, yo, this world is an illusion. If Michael Talbot could write a book as far back as the early 90s explaining that this is a holographic universe, it didn't even speak about the Earth, the universe as a whole, the stars, the cosmos, the nebulas, the galaxies, etc., etc. If this universe is holographic, goodness gracious, bro, there's got to be something beyond the hologram that's actually real, right? At least relative to that which we know. Because it's all fake, but Dr. Bass, please explain to the people as we wrap this up, like, yo, get yourselves in order. Your mind is the only thing that you have. Remember Patrick Swayze in the movie Ghost, when he still had his clothes and whatnot, or rather the appearance of his clothes even after he died. Vincent Schiavelli's character, who was already the subway ghost, told him, you think you're wearing those clothes? You think you're standing on that ground? No, it's all in your mind. Brother Panic already explained it. Your mind is the only thing that is real. It's the only thing that is you. In the Animatrix movie, the animated movie that's literally connected to the Matrix movies, the lady said, look, I don't know. In the last story, the main female character of the last story, because it's an anthology movie. It's like several stories in one movie. You know, that's an anthology. But the main female character of the last story said, look, Doc, I really don't know if the world outside of me is real, but I do know one thing. My mind is real. They be hiding the truth straight in our faces, Dr. Bass. Man, just let the people know as we end this one, King. Thank you so much for the opportunity once more, brother.
Oh yeah, that was definitely a great video to end it off with. Just like showing like the heart and the mind is the only real thing out here that we have, and everything else is a light illusion in all this video game. And really, what your experiencing physically is just the ego. And last time we checked, we were not the ego, and the ego is just the character, it's the person that we were playing as in this video game. So yeah, you just have to have no attachment to anything and just let everything go, because this is not our world and this is their creation. We didn't create this one because
Whoever,
Marvel. Yeah,
bro, whoever it is, if I ever came across whoever it was that created this fucking world, I would tell them straight up, yo, I don't have any memory of what this world used to be at the very start of its creation, but I could tell you it decayed into something but ugly as shit. I'm telling you, it decayed so badly, right? Like, geez, man. But then again, you would know the law of vibration states that nothing stays the same. Everything vibrates. Like, and the law of vibration, the law of polarity, and the law of rhythm. The pendulum keeps swinging. It keeps shifting. Empires rise up, empires fall down. Kingdoms rise up, kingdoms fall down. But either way, Dr. Bass, thank you so much. Yeah, we leave our masterful work behind. We make sure that we are as light as a feather. And yeah, before we end this, let the people know what you got going on in the background, King.
oh yeah, nothing too much. Just like stay connection. Make sure you follow the podcast and listen to more, and you already know the vibe.
Dr. Bass, a pleasure to be with you as always. Everyone, yo, raise yourselves up. Get the fuck up out of this world. Love death. And remember, you are way more than these physical bodies, because that's literally just a label and an identification that literally has nothing to do with that which you truly are. But anyway, Brandon, any last words to the people as we wrap this up?
Oh no, I definitely appreciate you coming on and for your time and everything like that, and awakening
Dr.
humankind.
Bass, you know we gotta do this. We gotta leave the work behind, my brother. We gotta make sure people hold themselves accountable at the end of the day. We did the work. Now they gotta see what it is that they want to do with it, if they want to do anything with it at all. But Brandon, much love as always. Definitely, we'll keep in touch.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate.
Peace, King. Peace, everyone.
Yo, make sure you follow the podcast. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Like the podcast. Give it a 5-star rating or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you are lighter than a feather. Peace out.